Welcome to the Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we will be interviewing the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. In this first episode, we are going to introduce you to Ted Huntington, the author of Doug Maxwell.
Hi, my name is Ted Huntington, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about my writing and my book, Doug Maxwell.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
I'll be honest, it's a grind. Writing a novel seems like a simpler process. I self-published my first two novels, Blast Off to ECAPS and Blast Off to Earth, on Lulu.com. When I wrote Doug Maxwell, I hoped to land a publishing deal, but after several months, I opted to self-publish, and I used social media to do a lot of the promotion. My Facebook forum that I created called Authors Networking Group actually was what opened the door to my publishing deal with Next Chapter. Next Chapter then republished Doug Maxwell, and they are publishing my new book, which is the sequel to Doug Maxwell, the second in my trilogy, and that's titled Charlie Estrella. Even with the publishing deal, however, marketing books is a ton of work. The trick for writers is to build your audience. So keep writing and continuously connect with others to grow your fan base.
How is Doug Maxwell going to inspire the lives of the people?
At its core, Doug Maxwell is about finding your true destiny and fighting to overcome obstacles in order to reach your destiny. I think that message resonates really with everyone.
Would a sports enthusiast love reading the book the most?
Yes, the book has a heavy sports theme, but it also appeals to fans of science fiction as well as romance stories.
Why is the character Doug Maxwell a reluctant hero?
Doug Maxwell is bestowed supernatural gifts that may not actually help him to find his true destiny. He's a reluctant hero because he becomes this supernatural superhero, although he's torn because his desire is to please his father, but that desire really does not necessarily lead to his true destiny. I hope that makes sense.
Do you see Doug Maxwell becoming a movie someday?
Actually, that's a great question and timely. I have a writing partner, and he and I have written a screenplay adaptation of Doug Maxwell that has already been written, and we are in the process of working to land a deal with a motion picture studio. We're looking for representation, a literary agent that can help us land a deal with a movie studio.
What message would you give to your potential readers about Doug Maxwell? Please tell us more about the upcoming books in the series.
Doug Maxwell, as I said, is part one of what I'm calling the Storm Trilogy. The next installment is called Charlie Estrella. It's due out soon, hopefully around Christmas, maybe the beginning of 2021. And I do plan to write the third installment in 2021. So a lot more to come from my mind and my pen. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Order your copy of Doug Maxwell from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching the Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would be interviewing the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. In this second episode, we would be introducing you to Tahani Nelson, the author of Chronicles.
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Tahani Nelson. I'm the author of the Chronicles. It's a military fantasy series that's available on Audible, Amazon, and Kindle Unlimited.
What pains did you undergo in the process of writing the Chronicles?
Out of everything, I think writing the Fiery Chronicles is actually the easiest part of putting this book series out into the world. I think that almost anyone can write a book. We all have stories we want to tell, we have worlds that we want to build, but the publishing aspects, and then more importantly, the marketing aspects of creating a novel or a series is really, really difficult and often discouraging for a lot of people. That's the thing that keeps you from fully realizing this dream that you've had for so long. I'm really, really lucky in that I have an entire army at my back who wants this series to succeed as much as I do, but it took a while to get there. It took time and effort to prove to the world and to this army that I have something that's of worth, and if you just follow me, I will take you somewhere that's worthwhile. But it was definitely worth it, and now I've got an entire Fiery army with me who want to see these books become successful. And while it was difficult, it was absolutely worth it.
Which real-life events inspired you to write this book?
I think there's actually a lot of real-life events that have inspired the different parts of the Fiery Chronicles. I mean, they are set in a fantasy world, and that part is obvious. But if you look, there's a lot of modern issues and politics sprinkled throughout. There's anti-totalitarian themes, there's class warfare, there's this concept of trying to turn against others or different people in order to bring back this nostalgic previous version of the world that never truly existed. There's literal children that are standing up and demanding a better future than the one that we've provided. There's so many parts and pieces that I pulled from the real world as I was writing the books. And then there's some more timeless issues as well that we face every day in a bunch of different cultures and countries that have always kind of been there, but we don't really recognize them for being scary or dark unless you first put them under that veil of fantasy. So like religious indoctrination, or the powerful leaders changing the definition or perception of truth in order to meet their own ends. These are all things that we see in the real world, but unless you put that veil of fantasy in front of it, people don't really recognize it as something that's frightening. And so that's what the Fiery Chronicles does.
What message would you give to your potential readers about the Fiery Chronicles?
Okay, so potential readers of the Fiery Chronicles, here's the thing. I want you to be part of my Fiery army. I want to lead you somewhere wonderful with these books, and they are worthy of being in your field of vision. They are worthy of following. I want to immerse you in this world that I created, and I've made them as immersive as I know how to. You're not just buying a book, or you're not just downloading a book on Kindle Unlimited, or just listening to a book on Audible. When you read the Fiery Chronicles, or when you support the Fiery Chronicles, you become part of my Fiery army. And I promise, if you just give it a shot, if you dive into this world I've created, I will lead you somewhere worthwhile. All you have to do is pick up your sword and follow me.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
So, my journey to become an author has been a little bit different than most people's. I did originally start out with a small indie publisher that I hated so much. It was the worst experience of my entire life. I still can't believe how terrible I hate this experience with this indie publisher. And I don't know, I never felt like the publisher cared if my book was successful or not. They never cared like I cared, and maybe no publisher ever will, but I at least wanted some sort of response to my emails or questions. I wanted control, or at least visibility on things like my Amazon page or my sales figures, or reliable access to my own data, and I never got that. I also never got the royalties that I had earned, and that's tough. That really made me not want to be an author anymore. I stopped writing for 2 years while I was part of this indie publisher, just because I didn't want to be part of the writing world, the literary world anymore, because it was so terrible. Now that I self-publish, I actually love the experience again. I love writing again. I love creating again. I love the creative freedom that comes with being part of every step of the process. And I know that self-publishing does have a lot of stigma around it. There's a lot of people out there who still think that if it wasn't capable of being traditionally published, then it's probably not as worthy of a book. It's not as good of a book. It's not a worth the money or whatever. There's a lot of stigma around self-publishing, but I am so glad I made the change, and I and my army know that this book is worthy of being read, even if it is self-published, and we're going to prove it to everybody, one step at a time.
Do you see the 5 Chronicles becoming a movie someday?
I would love to see the Fire Chronicles become a movie. I would absolutely love to see that. And a lot of my reviewers, a lot of the people that have read the Fire Chronicles and then left a review online have said the same thing. It's kind of amazing at how many of my reviews have said this would make a great movie. And I can see it. It's a super cinematic series. It's got great fight scenes, it's got dark imagery, it's got a really gritty world, it's a very immersive book and a very immersive series. And I think that it would make a strong film. The thing is that if we're being pragmatic, we have to recognize that it's almost impossible for indie books to become films. They're not visible enough, they're not famous enough. A lot of people in Hollywood do not think that they'll make any money, but a lot of people also didn't think that the Fire Chronicles would become successful as books either, and they were wrong. So I don't see any problem in continuing to break through these stigmas and these tropes and these false ideas about what is worthy in modern society. It would also be fantastic to see at least the first book, The Last Fae, become a film, because we need more diverse films. We need more books that have wonderful, powerful women of color as the protagonists. And Kaya fits that bill. So, Hollywood, prove me wrong. Prove to me that you guys are willing and ready to put forth things that people want to see, and make the Fire Chronicles the film that it deserves.
Do you identify with the protagonist, Kaya Faye and Ilhana Harkins?
I think that I identify with all of my different characters. It's really difficult, and I'd say almost impossible, to create a character that you don't identify with. I do love Kaya's strength. I love how she learns about the monastery outside, or the world outside of her monastery. I love that she's willing to adapt and understand more about the world as she experiences it, but I also love Alana's determination and how she's so single-minded. They're very different characters, but I love different aspects of them, and I do identify with those. I think that more than anyone else, though, I really identify with the character of my newest book, the last book in the Fire Chronicles, Fire Ascended, that I'm writing right now. It should be available in 2021, and I am not really ready yet to tell you about this particular character because we're not that far in the process, but if you continue to watch my website, tahaninelson.com, and keep looking for future interviews or news, you'll definitely learn more about it as we get closer to publication. Yeah, once again, thank you so much for having me. My name is Tahani Nelson, and I'm the author of the Fire Chronicles. You can learn more about me and my books by going to tahaninelson.com. TAHANINELSON.com. As always, thank you so much for supporting me. Keep your shields up, and I can't wait to see you in the future.
Order your copy of The Last Fae from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now. Like and share this video. Keep on watching the Blaze Goldburst show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst show, a new series of author interviews where we will be interviewing the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. In this third episode, we are going to introduce you to Yuzna Fan, the author of The Winter Years. How was your experience in writing The Winter Years?
My experience in writing The Winter Years was incredible. The title came to me one night, and the poem just flowed beautifully. It is dedicated to my former high school English teacher, Mary Ellen McGregor. And it took several weeks to get the rest of the poems together, but I found a publisher, and she knew right away what to do with the cover, and she just really ran with the vision. So it was an incredible experience. It didn't take long to get the book together, and I'm very proud of it.
What struggles did you face in the journey to becoming a published author?
I had several publishers. I've had several publishers during the years, so it wasn't hard for me to get published. I went to the library and I did some research, and I tried to find somebody that would accept poetry. I have also written longer works in prose, but I'm primarily a poet. And I sent out to about less than a dozen publishers, actually, and one of them accepted me. And so I'm published here and overseas and online. And I've had a handful of publishers, so it's been an incredible experience. You just have to do a little bit of research and find somebody that's, compatible with you. I had a creative writing talent as a child, and I decided to step out on a limb, and I found support for it.
Which real-life events inspired you to write The Winter Years?
The inspiration for this book was simply that many of my loved ones are in their winter years. My parents have passed away, and The Winter Years is dedicated to them. The whole book is dedicated to them. The poem is dedicated to Mary Ellen McGregor. But every season of life has its benefits and its challenges, and so the couple walking together on the cover of the book are bent over under a midnight sky, and they really just signify or personify the metaphor of winter.
Would you consider poetry a dying art?
I think poetry is a unique art form. It's not a dying art. I think, I helped some middle school students with a poetry contest they did, and I enjoy doing poetry readings. And I hope to, encourage others to use their gifts and their talents and just to express themselves. Great poetry is a vital art form. It's every bit as encouraging and vital to our culture as painting and sculpture. And I also enjoy painting as an art.
What is the underlying message you would provide to the potential readers of The Winter Years?
The underlying message of this book is simply one of faith. I'm a Christian author. I write on a variety of some topics. Sometimes I'm humorous and sometimes I'm serious. It just depends on the mood I'm in. I also enjoy experimenting with different forms of poetry from all over the world and from different time periods. So The Winter Years is a fun piece. It has many tales from my heart to the readers, and I'm just really proud of the different forms of poetry that I can write from all over the place.
What message would you give to all aspiring and rising authors?
The advice that I have for aspiring authors is just to reach out to online communities. Get and give feedback. Like and follow others. Don't let writer's block discourage you. Write frequently and learn from the renowned authors. Read everything you can. Don't discard your writing, but edit it and see if you can make it better. There are a lot of tools online that will help you to come up with ideas and to whip your poetry into shape. So not every publisher or publication will be right for you. Sometimes you'll be rejected, but that doesn't mean you can't be heard, and that doesn't mean that you don't have a gift. It's just, different magazines, different literary magazines and different journals and different presses have different outlook on what they need and what they would like to publish. So, it's best to just see where your skills lie and to get out there and to send it out, do contests, apply, get on Facebook and network with the other authors. Some of them have some great ideas and they're willing to help. Thank you.
Order your copy of The Winter Years from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would be interviewing the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. In this fourth episode, we would be introducing you to Donna Cuddle, the author of There Are No Alligators in Heaven. What trauma does a person diagnosed with an incurable genetic disease undergo?
Okay. Well, they're facing mortality every day, especially when they get sick, and trying to keep themselves as healthy as possible, as many are hospitalized each year and several times each year. When diagnosed as a child, it's kind of hard because the child just wants to fit in, and having a disease, you know you're different and can't do what all the other children are doing all the time because you're taking medicine or you're not feeling well. So it's a little difficult, so we try and make things as normal as possible.
There Are No Alligators in Heaven. Is the book inspired by real life events?
Yeah, the book is about my daughter, my husband, and I working through the challenges that a terminal illness projects on a family. And it's about how we handled this diagnosis, and we handled it with courage, laughter, and positivity.
How do people around us view someone suffering from an incurable disease like cystic fibrosis and cancer? Are they isolated from others? Do people only sympathize with their state?
Well, I think some people are uncomfortable. I know one time when my daughter was little, someone asked me if they could catch it. And you can't catch genetic diseases. It's not a cold.
Yeah.
So they're very misinformed. And then there are others that are quick to help in any way they can. But a lot of people don't want to be around sickness.
What message would you like to give to your potential readers of There Are No Alligators in Heaven?
Okay, the message I wanted to convey to readers is no matter what health challenges you are facing, never give up. Go through life with a positive attitude and enjoy the time you have on this earth. Because you only have one life, and live it the best you can.
How can we lessen the trauma of a person suffering from a fatal disease? What kind of support system should we expect as great necessity?
Okay, the one thing we can do to lessen the trauma of a person suffering from a fatal disease is to be there for that person when needed. Listen to that person. Hug that person. And don't give unwanted advice. Just be someone they can count on. Because that's all they want to do is vent or have someone listen to them because they're going through things that is just very difficult. So just be there for them.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
Okay, when my daughter passed away, I didn't want anyone to forget about her. And I wanted to show people that are having challenging times with their health or any challenge they may be going through to never give up. The struggles that I went through to have this book published was dealing with a sick husband at the time. My husband was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer in 2012. My daughter Jennifer passed away in 2015. And at the end of his struggles, it was difficult for him. We had a great publisher and editor that came to our house and interviewed us. We finished the book 2 days before my husband passed away. I was then on my own to finish the project and get this book out to the public. It's my story about my daughter. She passed away from cystic fibrosis. She was diagnosed at 2.5. It was in 1974. They told me she would live to 15. My daughter passed away in 2015, and she was a month going to be 44 years old. She was married for 18 years, and she was waiting for a lung transplant in Florida with her husband, and she didn't receive it. Thank you very much. Thank you. I just want other people to get the inspiration from the book to deal with challenges that they're dealing with, because if they could see the way she lived her life and the way we lived our life, you can do anything. You can get the book on Amazon. You could get the book in bookstores and in libraries. And then, if you want to look at my information, it's Donna, D-O-N-N-A, Codell, C-O-D-E-L-L, thebumpcard.me. And you can find everything on that.
Order your copy of There Are No Alligators in Heaven from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching the Blaze Goldburst Show. Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would interview the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Blaze Goldburst, your host and the author of Reversed Order Existence. In this 5th episode, we would introduce you to Bull Durham, the author of 7 Broken Souls. Which real-life events inspired you to write 7 Broken Souls?
I think what inspired me to write this book there's multiple factors. One was the fact that I was abused by my parents at a very early age. I'm the youngest of 7 children, and we were all physically, emotionally, and verbally abused. I ended up moving out of my house when I was 17 years old, and I started making something of myself. I put myself through high school, college, ended up becoming a vice president of a very large and well-known bank. And one of my clients and also the bank I worked for tried to ruin my integrity when I was trying to look out for the customer and my client. And I tried to compartmentalize all of these things for years, and I realized after visiting my therapist that I couldn't continue the way I was going, and my life had become unmanageable. So I had to first recognize I had a problem and then work on ways to solve it.
What trauma does a victim of abuse undergo in their everyday life? How do they deal with depression? What perception do people have about them?
I think some of the biggest trauma that I underwent in my normal life after I recognized the abuse, and it wasn't until I started going through therapy that I even recognized that I had been abused and the effects of that abuse. Codependency is one major issue, whether it's in relationships, personal relationships, or whether it's in professional relationships. Codependency is huge for me. Codependency is, trying to please somebody else when it goes against whatever your maybe core values are or core beliefs are. And in relationships with women, I never wanted to say no to them. I never wanted to share my feelings even about the relationship if I thought it was going to upset them. I wasn't, and I was basically omitting things, and not purposely lying, but omitting is a form of lying. So codependency is huge. And in my professional life, my bosses, our superiors, often I viewed them in the same manner. I I would do anything they said, even again if it went against my core beliefs or core values, and I wouldn't say anything. I would just go along with it because I was in fear of losing my job always. If I went against the grain, I was always afraid of losing my job. And working for the company that I did, they could do that at any time they wanted to. They're known for abusing their employees. Now, different ways that we may deal with codependency or depression or the trauma is to drink or to do drugs. And I abused alcohol. I kept saying for years that I didn't know if I had a problem drinking. I didn't know if I was addicted to it. And I found out I wasn't addicted to alcohol, but going out once a week and getting inebriated was enough to keep all the feelings, compartmentalize all the bad stuff that had happened to me, to keep it buried down deep inside. That was enough. But once I stopped drinking and I kind of took a step back and started looking at my life, and things were just unlocked. And I was lucky I didn't turn to drugs. I 100% understand and can relate to individuals that have turned to drugs, and not recreational drugs like marijuana, but anything harder. I definitely understand. There's a hurt inside that you just want to go away. You just want it, that hurt filled. You want it to go away, and you want it to be numbed. And I didn't realize I was doing that with drinking, but I was. And yeah. Now, the perception of somebody with codependency or depression, or even going through, like, let's say a recovery program, I think the perception of those individuals are that they are weak-minded, or somehow a baby, and I think, and also I think that some men, I would say, think that they're not a real man if they can't man up and own these feelings and just suck it up. And I would tell you that someone that can actually share their feelings, share their past, and they know more about themselves, they know who they are, they're the person that actually is a man, or a woman that can do that. They're a true woman. They can, but I think that's the biggest mischaracterization, is that somebody's weak-minded if they are going through depression, or that
Is a supportive family a thing that doesn't exist for everyone? How lucky would you consider people who have supportive parents?
a supportive family is something I really don't have. I'm the youngest of 7 children, but unfortunately, a lot of my brothers and sisters don't understand what I'm going through. They've not been through I've been through counseling with my therapist for years and years and years. I have gone through a 12-step program, and I go to a small men's group meeting, and I go to Hope Celebrate Recovery Lutheran Church, and they are what we call my forever family. I go there on Thursday nights. There's no judgments. People are always happy to see me. I'm always happy to see them. I'm always in a good mood. My family, though, is not supportive. They don't, like I said, they don't really understand, and I'm not blaming them. You don't know what you don't know. And I didn't realize how a 12-step program would help me out. I didn't realize the benefits that this was going to lead for me. So that was huge. And unfortunately, I've lost some relationships with my nieces and nephews, because they don't understand what's going on, and they only hear probably one side from their parents, and they don't want to get involved, and I understand that. But I would say I'm very much closer to a lot of the gentlemen that are in my forever family than I am my own family, and that's very sad, but that's my reality. I think anybody that has supportive parents or supportive network of individuals, hopefully they consider themselves lucky. They may not understand how lucky they are, or what an extreme asset that is, to have somebody else in their life that would be supportive. I'm grateful for all of my friends that have reached out, that have shared how proud they are of me, what I've done, because you don't get that from everybody. Not everybody knows to do that. So if you have that, I would definitely say don't squander any opportunity to tell somebody in your life how much you're thankful for their love and their support. And I'm still single, and I would tell you that I look for someone that has a supportive family or supportive parents.
How can we lessen the trauma of the person suffering from abuse? What kind of support system should we expect as a great necessity?
How do you lessen the trauma of somebody that's suffering from abuse? If I was speaking to any of my family or my friends, I would tell them to listen, learn, and go so far as to get involved in their life and understand it. What I mean by that is make sure you understand or ask qualifying questions as long as the person is willing and open to talk about it. Get to know them and what they're going through, because I had to unlock all of these things. I had to first recognize I had a problem, and then that's unlocking it, and then I had to deal with those issues. I was in what I call fight or flight mode for 35 years, and I spent the last 5 years in recovery. 35 years I didn't deal with any of this. I didn't know to. Listen, learn about somebody else's issues, their hurts, habits, and hang-ups, and get involved. If they want to take you to church with them, if they want to take you to an event with them, odds are they feel better when you're around them. They feel better if you go with them. They're going to be less likely to be fearful, and maybe they want to show you a part of their world. And that's a way for them to show you, hey, this is who I am, and it's a way for you to kind of bond together through this, horrible incident. As far as support, I think when I started my journey and the Celebrate Recovery program that I'm a part of, we have what we call accountability partners. So before I maybe was going to act out, before I was going to do something that wasn't going to be good for me, I would reach out to an accountability partner. That can be anybody. In a small men's group, it's generally a male if you're a male, or a female if you're a female. But you reach out to those individuals if you're having a tough day, if anything's coming up. It's a way to kind of vent. And it gets us used to doing one thing that we're not used to doing. That's asking for help. I rarely asked for help growing up. I did everything myself. I was forced to. There wasn't anybody around to help me. So I had to do those things. And so asking for help from an accountability partner is huge. Also, getting a sponsor. So a sponsor is somebody that is kind of like a level above an accountability partner. A sponsor, you meet with them regularly, they check in on you regularly, and you go to them first and foremost because you feel comfortable with that person. And it's really important, once you get through all these steps, once you get an accountability partner, you're a sponsee, it's really important for you to turn around and pull up somebody that's behind you just coming up through the program, and show them the way. Show them that you can, and you need to show them that they have a resource in you. You can be that accountability partner for somebody. You can be a sponsor for somebody. And I can tell you from my firsthand knowledge, it is extremely beneficial when you have somebody that you've mentored and you see them leading small group, you see them up giving announcements, you see them grow in their capacity, and that's I think what Celebrate Recovery program is all about.
Does time heal our emotional scars?
Time does not heal all wounds. I wish it did, but I can tell you, I spent 35 years, I'm 48 now, I spent 35 years of my life roughly in a fight or flight mode, just trying to protect myself. and the last 5 years have been in recovery. And I know my other brothers and sisters, they're hurting like I was and like I am, and most of them haven't dealt with it. It's unfortunate. I wish they would. But you don't know what you don't know. So I would tell you that, and there's ways to mask that also by drinking. If you go out drinking, for me it was just once a week. I was going out and getting inebriated. That was enough to kind of keep all those things deep inside.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
It was, for the first 30 to 60 days, that's approximately how long it took me to write the book. It was very cathartic. It was helpful to get all this out. It was very, I'd say, tense. I was very anxious writing it, reliving all these experiences. I would write for maybe 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, and I didn't really notice until I was done writing that my t-shirt would just be drenched with sweat. I would be sweating so much, and I would just, I didn't realize that was happening to me. So I think that was one of the things I noticed. But after that, after the writing process, it was really just learning, or practicing rather, what I had learned. And what I mean by that is I am codependent, and I do things often to please others, or I do things at least so that I don't interrupt maybe the status quo. And again, maybe those are things that aren't healthy for me. So I had a publisher that I had stopped working with because I had set out a marketing plan, and I stated these are the things I wanted to accomplish, and they had their own timeline and they had their own initiatives, and then they didn't match up, and I didn't realize they weren't matching up until it was almost too late, and I had to pull back away from them. I said, this isn't going to work. I look at a publisher as somebody that's a partner with me. They're going to benefit off of my sweat and tears and blood, so I want them to be invested as I am. And so I said, this isn't comfortable for me, and I just stepped away, and I found a new publisher. And what was nice is, or what was beneficial through that process is I'm learning. I'm always learning something new. And I went back to, and you kind of start over, and I regrouped myself, and I started, one of my philosophies, I like to eat and shop locally, and I started reaching out to local authors, and I asked them, what have they done? What would they recommend? And everybody was so gracious. They'll give you any information that you want. They'll help you in any way. They'll show you where you might be missing something, and they'll tell you if they are not on the right track, and just, I think that's just the feeling that I get in the author kind of community, that a lot of individuals are willing to help others out. There's some struggles in there with the process itself, but writing the book was very cathartic. But the process is like anything, there's growing pains and there's things you have to learn, and that's what I did.
Order your copy of 7 Broken Souls from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show. Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would interview the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Blaze Goldburst, your host and the author of Reverse Order Resistance. In this 6th episode, we would introduce you to the Black Wolf, the author of The Struggle for Identity. What struggles did you face in the journey to becoming a published author?
Most of my struggles that I faced had more to do with Well, it had to do with the life that was laid out in front of me. I spent the first 25 years of my life in complete isolation from society. The people that I was living with and the people that that were supposed to be taking care of me were highly abusive. My dad abused me during my childhood, physically, emotionally, psychologically. And then I went into slavery. I was a slave for about 6 or 7 years. And during that time, each day I was lucky to wake up. These were the struggles of my life that taught me a lot. And it took me almost 15 years after being released from slavery to come to understand that one major problem that I was seeing manifest itself around me, and a major problem that I was seeing manifest itself within me, was a struggle to identify who I am, what I stand for, and what I believe. And much of that struggle, I looked into the very book that I was writing for the answer.
Which real life events inspired you to write The Struggle for Identity?
There were quite a few different experiences that I had that inspired me to write this book. One of them was the fact that coming up in a narcissistic home, as I've told many people, narcissism is the absence of identity. And coming up in that kind of environment, you have no idea who you are because the narcissist is too busy telling you that you are not who you think you are. You are who I tell you that you are. And this is how I'm going to control that. And it's always changing from one minute to the next because the narcissist itself doesn't know. The narcissist himself or herself does not know who they are. And when you grow up in that kind of environment, you will take that into your daily life, into the future. As an adult, I struggled with knowing who I am as Peter Wood. And when I coined the name the Black Wolf, I started to ask myself, who is Peter Wood? Who is the Black Wolf? And where do these two come together as one? And in writing this book, I sought to answer many of the questions that coming up fully isolated from society left me with.
What is the underlying message you would provide to the readers of The Struggle for Identity?
The past is a painful thing. I think that it is that very pain we have to be willing to confront. Confront it factually. Don't even look at what it did to you emotionally. Don't even look at the things that hurt you. And don't even look at how they affected you emotionally. Look only at the facts. And then ask yourself, how does that fact affect who I am today? If you can do this, then you can speak death to the emotional effects of the past on your present. Until you do that, you have no future. Once you can do that, once you can look at yourself and go, in my case, I was a slave. How did that affect me? Well, I learned these skills. What can I do with these skills? I can do things with these skills. I can build with these skills. Rather than going, that son of a bitch hurt me. Instead of having that attitude and the need for revenge only holds you back. When we can look at ourselves, when we can look at our past and say, that created this, then we can cut off the emotional effects of the past on our present. Then we can speak life to the future and set the parameters for the relationship we will have with the future. And only then can we move forward. We first must discover our identity in the past, declare our identity in the present, and then step into our identity for the future. This is what I hope people will gather from my book.
Are we facing an identity crisis in the digital age?
Absolutely. In this digital age, we are faced with a template of what is expected to be acceptable. And we take that template and we try to force it onto ourselves. But this is not who we are. In this digital age, we've become less connected with ourselves, less connected with our families, less connected with our society, and we've come to a point now where we don't even know who we are anymore because we don't see our idols that way. We see our idols a different way, and this is what we choose to become. Are we facing an identity crisis as a nation? Absolutely. Yes. Because we have taken this idea of what we consider to be acceptable, beautiful, attractive, and we've idolized it. But what we don't understand is that when the aggregate culture takes a standard of beauty and makes that its goal, then that standard of beauty becomes average at best. That standard of attractiveness becomes average at best, and then it becomes ugly.
The struggle for identity is a very crucial issue. What changes can we bring in the minds of the people towards this sensitive issue?
We have to come to a point, I think, where we are willing to accept the fact that we are just as capable of every horrible thing that we've experienced in our past. We're just as capable of creating the very suffering that we hate people for. If we become resentful of the things that we suffered in our past, then we will become cruel. And when we become cruel, then we can become the very reason that we're suffering.
The struggle for identity is an exploration into a new American revolution, a personal one. Are we still accepting ourselves? Are we still surviving with fear in our minds? What was the perception of the society in the 20th century as compared to now?
That's an interesting question. Very, very well thought out question. Fear keeps you focused on everything else that can go wrong and everything that did go wrong. When you're that focused on those things, then fear keeps you blinded to your identity. It keeps you focused on becoming somebody else, becoming more aggressive so that you don't have to get hurt again. Things like this. Fear wears many masks. Are we still dealing with fear in our minds? Absolutely. In fact, more now than ever before. We now live in a society that is so afraid of anything and everything that the news media tells us that only what the news media tells us can be true. And as a result, society is fracturing. It's falling apart. No one's allowed to get within 6 feet of each other. No one's allowed to get within 10 feet of each other. Every holiday, they're concerned about gatherings because they don't want people coming together. They don't want people talking. In the 20th century, it wasn't like this. 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. We are not accepting ourselves, no. We are still trying to become somebody else. I think it's more important for us to have a personal revolution. Each and every one of us, as individuals, come to an understanding of who we are one at a time. Because changing the world has to begin with the individual. You can't change the world objectively without first changing your subjective opinion of how the world is.
Order your copy of The Struggle for Identity from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show. Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would interview the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Blaze Goldburst, your host and the author of Reversed Order Existence. In this 7th episode, we would introduce you to Mark Dawson, the author of Recognition, Oxygen Depth, Part 1.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark Dawson, author of the debut sci-fi novel Recognition, Oxygen Depth, part 1 of a trilogy.
How tough is it to write dystopian fiction? Does it take a lot of research?
Well, extremely tough, as there has been a lot of work in the dystopian field already written, so it is difficult to take it from a different angle and invent new material. Also hugely competitive, and with the current climate, with the current pandemic we are exposed to, obviously there's a high demand for this type of work. Yes, it takes a lot of research. I have collated over 20 years of personal wind energy research, but in some sense some of the research goes back as far as when I was 8 years old, when my uncle informed me about the ancient relic of Sato Square and Tenet.
Do you see Recognition becoming a movie someday?
So this book is semi-autobiography, incorporates my whole life. I want it to succeed and feel distraught that it isn't noticed just yet, and also would like this to be pursued into a movie, as I feel it has strong characters, a strong plot, and a very good storyline. Life is unfair. It is about who you know, best friends with people in high places in most industries. None more true than the creative industries such as publishing and movie industry. I know this firsthand also is the case in construction, so there's many industries are like this. Today, yes, I will die trying. Otherwise, I've failed in life in my view. There's a lot of movies out there that quite frankly have rubbish storylines, rubbish characters, and they get made. So yes, I have to pursue this continuously.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
Horrendous. It affected my health. Severe anxiety, insomnia, fell into arrears, which I still am in. It's affected personal relationships, yet still no end in sight of a traditional publishing deal, nor a movie deal, no light at the end of the tunnel. I'm still trying to find my way out of the dark. I had a hybrid publishing deal which was sold to me that they would support and help with the marketing of my book and get my book into Barnes & Noble stores in America. This didn't happen. Had to do all the marketing myself and learn it, which was a high learning curve. Time spent whilst working full-time. Also something I am not good with in terms of social media and technology, and don't have time to do. My other 2 books in the trilogy have been affected by this, as it has meant me not allowing time to complete the editing of them. So what inspired me to write this book, or trilogy of books? I used my wind energy research for my Masters of Science degree dissertation as the foundation for the main theme of the climate change and renewable technology of the story. The protagonist has elements of my own career journey in pursuing the fight against climate change. I have over 15 years of renewable energy generation experience and a further 5 years of research in wind energy sector. So you could say it's a semi-autobiographical piece of work, although I haven't found out how to time travel yet. The Sato Square theme was first introduced to me as a child by my Uncle James and is again a personal experience, personal influence. I used the Sato Square to form an original idea of using a factual archaeological relic as a fictitious time travel portal hidden by the church over generations.
How tough is the competition for books in the science fiction genre?
It is tough, the competition for books in the science fiction genre, as you are leaving a lasting legacy to any generation across all ages.
Do you feel authors having great potential are shadowed in the book world? Do you believe there are haters led by big influential people in this book world trying hard to diminish the visibility of a splendid work?
I feel that authors having great potential are shadowed in the book world and are unnoticed. I believe there are haters in the book world, are led by big influential people who take advantage and exploit your pure ideas. They try hard to diminish the visibility and splendor of your work. Therefore, I have struggled to gain notoriety of my own original idea regarding the time travel concept being stolen or coincidentally used and being exploited by somebody who's already a household name and has made it in life. So I am desperate and have a desire to wanting to be known for original work, and it's a shame that authors like myself do not get the credit for originality due to lack of marketing support from the hybrid publisher. I also believe my story has been plagiarized by a certain Christopher Nolan's creative team, which I believe has seen my MS when I sent the MS to a Hollywood scriptwriter in 2015 via Pay Per Hour website. I was told at the time, the Hollywood scriptwriter told me at the time that he was going to send that round people that he was on a weekly basis in meetings with, which did involve some Hollywood A-listers. I therefore believe that this has influenced the film Tenet, and clearly rather made his movie of Tenet in 2020, which I have a reason to believe that obviously mine has been copyrighted first, so it's a question of who has copied who. I think you'll find that the fact that I've copyrighted first would imply that I have not copied him. However, it could also be deemed as a strong coincidence.
What message would you like to give to all rising and aspiring authors?
The message I would like to give to rising and aspiring authors is that don't try and do all of this on your own, unless you are not working full time. Even if you do try to do it all on your own, there are many unknowns. There's a great deal of luck involved, things that are not in your control. If you're a control freak a bit like me, I wouldn't try to do it all on your own, as it will cause you severe anxiety. I would focus on trying to get a marketing company to help you, which is easier said than done, because who do you trust?
Order your copy of Recognition, Oxygen Depth, Part 1 from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
The story can be best summed up as, can a scientist prevent shape-shifting androids from destroying the planet? Our future lies within our past is the strapline. It is a sci-fi story which crosses over a number of subgenres: time travel, romance, dystopian, mystery, crime thriller. It has also political and philosophical and psychological subgenres. In 2012, dystopia is upon us. United Nations Authority is trying to stop energy and technology behemoth Skycom from destroying society once and for all. UNA's historical traditions realized that had a 21st century inventor, scientist Dr. Ben Richards, not been mysteriously assassinated, he would have created more innovative wind power and other renewable energy generation. UNA determines by keeping Richards alive in 2017 is key to surviving the world from becoming a nuclear wasteland. Skycom uses every method to thwart UNA's effort of protecting Richards by sending enhanced android doppelgangers to capture Richards for their own purpose. Meanwhile, UNA sends an enhanced human in the form of a cyborg to help protect Richards. A cocktail of climate change, artificial intelligence, nuclear Armageddon, and a time travel adventure with a heart.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we will be interviewing the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Rebel Crown Publications. In this 8th episode, we would be introducing you to Brandon Clark, the author of The Brave and the Wicked.
Hey everybody, my name is Brandon Clark and I am the author of Dark Mysteries of the Paranormal, and my books The Brave and the Wicked, The Ghost of Kyle Sugarbaker, and The Rainbow Dimension are currently online right now for ready for purchase.
What pains did you undergo in writing The Brave and the Wicked?
I knew that this was my first book that I was going to write, and I wanted to make sure that the book was going to be good. I am the kind of person, I'm a perfectionist, and I just don't like when things are... I hate it when I get so caught in my head that, like, oh my god, this is going to be so good, it's going to be so much fun. I don't see the bigger picture as far as, like, making sure things are detailed and, you know, there's plot holes, because I'm so excited about, like, the end result. So I think that was something that I've come to terms with in writing, making sure that when I write something, I'm making sure I'm taking my time with it, because when you rush, you tend to make a lot of mistakes. But if you just take your time and you're just, you know, you're just doing your thing, it works out better. It works out better in your favor. What I found, and I definitely, it's like, writing is definitely like, I definitely am a person who just loves to be able to be creative. So it kind of comes second nature, but the process of it can be at times hard, like, you know, making sure that, you know, you're not rushing into certain plot stories, where you're not rushing into things, and to the point where you're not seeing things through. So that's something that I know that I've learned over the years as I you know, continue to write, which I love writing. Writing is a lot of fun. I love being able to come up with characters and my own little world, and this world is like, I feel like the characters that I created so far, they're like real life people. Even though I know they're not, but they're like real life in my head. But yeah, still good.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
Well, becoming a self-published author is not easy. All of the responsibility of the marketing and just like the getting people to know about your books is solely on you financially. And I think that when you don't have, it's like you have to have a budget. And a lot of times, like, authors, well, in my case, I don't really have a budget. You know, I am a single man who has bills to pay, like real life bills to pay every day. And, you know, sometimes, like, you know, when you have to pay for certain things, you just don't have the capital to do it, unfortunately. So since doing all of this, I've definitely put all of my books on Amazon and Amazon Kindle, and that's for free, which is awesome. But at the same time, it's like you kind of have to spend the money to get the marketing to boost your books so people will want to buy it, which can be expensive, very, very expensive. When you self-publish, it's all on you. And, you know, normally I know that a lot of times authors will go to like what's the word I'm looking for? An author will go to the traditional publishing. They would take care of all of that. But that's a very tedious and long process, because a lot of times, like, they say no, or they want to change your book and they want to change everything about it. And then it's like, well, why did you want my book if you want to change everything, you know? And a lot of times a lot of authors have, like, you know, creative integrity, where they say, no, you're not changing my book, and I feel the same way. And I think that it's important to me that the content in my book stay the way that it was intended, that I wrote. So that's just the way I feel about that.
Do you see The Brave and the Wicked becoming a movie someday?
Of course I do. I feel like I can't wait for that day to come. I cannot wait to see my work that I worked so hard on, that came from my mind, to see it on the big screen, or to see it on Netflix, or see it like in a movie theater or whatever. That would be something that's like a dream come true to me. It really is. It would be such a dream come true. And I have like this, like, in my mind, who I would love to play my characters, who I would love to, like, you know, like the casting and stuff. I already have in my mind who I want to play my characters. So I think that would be so awesome to see that in person. In fact, I know that a lot of authors, I'm sure, when they see their books that they worked so hard on like, you know, on TV or in the movies, whether they liked it or not, it's pretty cool the fact that their work is being turned into like real life, which is so cool. My book series is a 10 novel series, so Dark Mysteries of the Paranormal, so I would love to see like all 10 books like kind of come like, you know, become like real life, turn into movies, or turn into maybe like a Netflix series or Hulu series or something. Would be so cool. I would love to see that happen one day.
What message would you give to your potential readers about The Brave and the Wicked?
I would say that be open-minded to different perspectives. I think that a lot of times people are so used to seeing a specific kind of character take the lead. I am a member of the LGBTQ community. I made it my personal mission to make sure there's a lot of like LGBTQ visibility in my books. I feel like growing up there hasn't really been a lot of that, unfortunately, and I wish that there was more of it. So I am actually really excited about people seeing the characters that I come up with, and it's not that my characters is oh yeah, they're gay or they're trans or whatever. It's not about that, but there isn't a lot of representation, and I wish there was, because in the real world there is straight, there is gay, there is bi, there is, you know, there's all kinds of people from all walks of life, and I wish that there was more of that in books, in media, and movies, and so on and so forth. So just keep an open mind. That's all I'm gonna say.
How would you view the future of paranormal fiction?
I hope that for future paranormal fiction, I think it's echoing what I said before, was just having more representation. I think that there shouldn't be one type of person who gets to lead, one type of person who gets to survive. I think that especially when it comes to people of the LGBTQ community, we need to see more representation of us as well. I would love to see, like, you know, because a lot of times, you know, when you see these kind of movies or you read these kind of books, they're like cisgendered men, cisgendered women, and you know, and that's all, and they're usually straight, and you know, and I think it'd be really cool to show the world that just because a person is gay doesn't mean that they can't tell a great story. A great story is a great story, regardless of what the leading person is. But the fact of the matter is that there never really is any, like, it's always like a uniformed, like, you know, way of doing things, and it's never any, like, there's never anything new that's brought to the table. It's usually like the same recycled stuff. So that's something that I think that a lot of people can look forward to in my books for Dark Mysteries of the Paranormal. That, you know, there is definitely people of all colors and everybody under the rainbow is in my books, and I'm so excited to like show that off, because you know it's gonna be so fun, and I'm having a blast writing it. And I'm actually currently writing the 4th and 5th installment for it as we speak now. So, well, I'm currently writing the 4th and 5th book like now. So it's really, really cool. I can't wait to show you guys what I have up my sleeve. The finale of the series is going to be explosive. So I am so excited to like write that. It's going to be so cool. But yeah, so thanks guys. So yeah guys, so check out my books on Amazon Kindle, The Brave and the Wicked, The Ghost of Kyle Sugarbaker, and The Rainbow Dimension. So yeah guys, so check out my books on Amazon Kindle, Dark Mysteries of the Paranormal, The Brave and the Wicked, Volume 1, The Ghost of Kyle Sugarbaker, Volume 2, and The Rainbow Dimension, Volume 3. And the rest of the volumes will eventually be on there as well, but I would love for you guys to check out the first 3. Thank you guys.
Order your copy of The Brave and the Wicked from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would be interviewing the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. In this 9th episode, we would be introducing you to Kimberly Thomas, the author of Blood Lovers. How was your experience in writing Blood Lovers?
My experience with writing Blood Lovers was very enjoyable. It was a personal challenge. I was attempting to write for a romance website. I had never written romance before, so it was a challenge for me. But I thoroughly enjoyed writing it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the storyline that goes with it.
What struggles did you undergo in becoming a published author?
The struggles I faced becoming a published author, the first time I actually submitted it to the website, it was rejected. But then I pursued self-publishing, and it's led me down the road to hopefully a traditional publishing contract.
Do you see Blood Lovers becoming a movie someday?
I've had several offers from Netflix and other film agencies wanting to make Blood Lovers a movie. I'm currently waiting until after I pursue my traditional contract before I pursue down that avenue. But yes, I see it becoming a movie in the future one day.
How do you view the future of vampire fiction?
Vampire fiction is an ancient fiction, but it's also a growing fiction. I see it being around for a long time. People are not ready to give up the idea of vampires, and on top of that, they love the idea of living forever, and they also love the irresistible villain per se that many vampires portray. I see vampire fiction sticking around and being a long-term genre.
What message would you give to your potential readers about Blood Lovers?
I hope you enjoy it. It's kind of a twist of vampire lore, but I think it's a good story, and I've had lots of people say that they've liked it, so I hope you enjoy it as well. It is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble as well. Thank you for allowing me to participate.
Order your copy of Blood Lovers from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching the Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would introduce you to the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. In this 10th episode, we would introduce you to Piyush Bandra, the author of Ranikhet Express, The Love Track.
Hi guys, this is Dr. Piyush Bandara from Columbia, Missouri, the author of the book Ranikhet Express, The Love Track.
What is the future of love stories?
If we talk about love stories are never ending, and as a human being, love is our natural and truthful outcome. Actually, love stories are not only love stories, they carry a lot along with them, and this is the reason people will always love to hear about love stories. In fact, love stories are realistic happenings that happens in our surroundings every day, and also have a major social impact too. Being a social creature, people will always see themselves into the love stories, and further being created in the society itself, they can always correlate each and every aspect of love story to their own life happenings. Next, every love story has its own different colors of life experiences. However, the names and characters change, but interestingly, the love concept remains same every time. In total, love stories are exciting and definitely has a bright future too.
Do readers still love it the way they used to a decade or two ago?
Yes, people are still liking the love stories as they do earlier. However, resources has been changed while the love concept remains same. 2 decades ago, there was no technology, and the only means of communication were meetings or letters. But still there was struggle, determination and destiny to shape a love story. And this is what people want to hear about. They want to know about this, they want to listen this, and they want to read this in the love stories. And love is the part of everyone's life. And this is the reason people will always keep liking the love stories.
Do you see Ranikhet Express becoming a Bollywood movie someday?
Love is everywhere. And of course, Bollywood movies are also not away from it. If we see, every Bollywood movie is a love story with lot of drama. Ranikhet Express also has its own naturality and real social life drama, along with friends, family, college life, and some strangers that will further make this love story more exciting and interesting. And of course, Ranikhet Express has a potential to be a realistic Bollywood movie. But here, I am looking for the love for this love express from my readers.
What is your perception of love? What struggles do people undergo to make a relationship last forever?
Well, it's difficult to explain love in few words. For me, love is everything. Love is natural instinct of human being that we can see in every aspect of life. Here, if we specifically talk in the context of Ranikhet Express, love is what? When someone wants to see you happy in any situation with every possible effort. It doesn't matter you met for the lifetime or not, but the quench to see happiness of each other matters with no boundaries. Further, love is evolving and revolving. That can be happen anywhere, anytime or in any situation. Also, love will surely introduce you to the struggle. And of course, that is why it is love. In the love process, first of all, one has to struggle himself to make some tough decisions for the favor of love. Those tough decisions are influenced by social environment in which we are living. Sometimes one has to face conflict with the friends and family too. But the spirit of love makes them strong enough to go through all these hurdles. In conclusion, love is tough, love is delicate, and it itself will make you understand what it is once it will be happen to you.
Why does the love story of Jigna and Palash carry a bounty of uncertainty?
The love story of Palash and Jigna is not an ordinary love story. This love story is full of uncertainties and driven by destiny and determination of both Palash and Jigna. They were different from each other in every possible manner. They belonged to different cities, they were studying in different colleges, and moreover, they belonged to different caste system. Further being different, they both were in just their 20s when they took the big decision of their life about marriage. All these circumstances, including distance and lack of communication means, further added more uncertainties to their love life. However, above all, Palash and Jigna just matched perfectly with their love frequencies and remained dedicated to each other in every situation.
How do you view the competition of books in your genre? Is the market oversaturated?
Well, romance is ever popular and largest genre that has been written till date. And of course, there is a lot of competition in this field. But the truth is that every love story has unique characters and a different storyline. And yes, we can say market is oversaturated with romance genre. But the field is continuously evolving with the time and technology that avail us novel love stories with exclusive experience.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
The publication journey of my first novel Ranikhet Express is quite interesting and struggling. Basically, I am a research scientist working at University of Missouri, Columbia. I did my graduation in agriculture from Pantnagar University, that also regarded as harbinger of green revolution in India. Later, I did my masters in life sciences from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Then I did my PhD in microbiology from CSIR Institute of Microbial Technology, Chandigarh. During all this long journey of my career, it started from Dausa to Pantnagar to National Capital New Delhi, then City Beautiful Chandigarh, and now here in USA. I experienced different colors of life, and those real life incidents inspired me to write. It took almost 7 years when I first started writing Ranikhet Express. As very new in the field, I don't know anything about publication process. Then I started googling by myself and get to know about publication process. Later, with lot of rejections and after long time, my book has been accepted for publication at Lessen Press. However, Lessen Press is a self-publication house where author also has to pay for publication. Anyways, with lot of efforts and after a long time, my first book has been published, and that all you know as Ranikhet Express, the love track.
Order your copy of Ranikhet Express, the love track from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching the Blaze Goldburst show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show, a new series of author interviews where we would interview the most promising authors. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your host and the publisher of Reverend Ground Publications. In this 11th episode, we would introduce you to Prithvi Datta, the author of Interactive 80s Game. Do you believe that people in the 21st century are missing the quality of life that existed in the 1980s?
The 1980s was comparatively a different life from what we have today. Because I remember in the 1980s, families used to spend quality time together, speak to neighbours, engage with each other. Kids used to engage with each other. There was no distraction of social media, iPhones. That's how life was different from the 1980s compared to today.
How would the book Interactive 80s Game inspire people to relive the life of the 80s again?
I decided to write a book about the 1980s called The Interactive 1980s Game. It looks back at the 1980s, reflects on the decade about its awesome music and quality music, its cool TV shows, its great movies, its awesome car boots, and iconic moments in sports, and also don't forget its fashion. It has such colourful fashion. Remember the Rubik's Cube? I used to play that. I even have a Rubik's Cube today, and I played as well. It's really an awesome game to play. And that's how things were like.
What message would you give to a potential reader about Interactive 80s Game?
And the message I give about the 1980 game is that you can create an 80s theme night, play with friends and family, and you can actually play 2 board games that you can download from our website, engagegames.co.uk, and you can play with families and friends. Like you can play a trivia quiz question round, you can play a charade round, a picture round, and even you can play a Mellet round. Remember Timmy Mellet from Wackaday? You can even do that. So the message about the book, you can have a great 80s night out, and that is really create an awesome experience.
What are your personal experiences in the 1980s? How different was life back then? What changes can we implement in our lives right now?
Now my experience in the 1980s is completely different compared to today, because I remember seeing families, neighbours spending quality time together, because my mum would spend time with neighbours, and the kids would engage with each other, playing concourse, BMX bike. We would even go to seaside together. We would even go to the supermarket together. We didn't have any distractions or mobile phones to happen, and that's why I like about the 1980s in particular compared to today. I wish life could be more like that today, where we're more engaging with each other, talking to people, interacting with people, having a communication. I feel that is lacking, and I want to bring all that back in today's decade.
Can we bring back the era of the 1980s in the digital age?
And because of the digital age, it is difficult because we are constantly glued to the screen, and we need to encourage people more to talk to each other and try to do things a bit differently. I'm not saying give up on, stop using social media and mobile phones, just try to use it in moderation and place important to what is important in life, like relationships, mixing with family, looking what's going outside and everything.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
My journey of becoming an author took some time because I was writing the book in 2017. I wanted to make it different from other 80s books, so it took time. I started in 2017, and as the years progressed, I sort of some new ideas of putting some board games in it and things like that. So it was an initial struggle. So thank you very much for listening to this video and of my insight about the 1980, and I wish you a good day. Bye.
Order your copy of Interactive 80s Game by Prithijit Datta from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show, a series of interviews where we would interview the most promising authors and entrepreneurs. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your show host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. In this 12th episode, we would introduce you to Crystal and Mitchell, the author of The Beginning of a Story. How is the book, The Beginning of a Story, going to inspire the lives of the people?
Hello, and thank you for having me. My name is Crystal Ann Mitchell, and I am an author of the book called The Beginning of Her Story. The beginning of her story is to inspire people all over the world, letting people know that no matter how hard life gets, is to always have faith in God. So whatever you feel like is bad in your life, or you feel like your life isn't going as planned, that tend to be all the ingredients that you had to go through to become who you are to become. So basically saying that there is purpose in that pain.
How should an author deal with the haters in the book industry?
I would say to look at them as motivators. Apparently you're doing something for them to be watching you. So, and you can't please everybody. Everybody ain't gonna like your writing. So whether it's they giving you good reviews, bad reviews, at least they took the time out to even, read your book or to even take the time to write about you. So I would just say that they just fans. Just fans. That's all they are.
What message would you like to give to aspiring authors?
I would say to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself first. If you want somebody to believe in you, you need to believe in yourself. And then go to God for your answers to be. Don't tell everybody your vision, because not everybody's going to see the vision that God has placed into you. And then you're going to run into those that's going to project their fears on you and make you start down yourself. Make you think that you can't do it. You can't make your dream come true because they couldn't make theirs come true. And then you're going to have those that's not going to be happy for you. So just be mindful. Limit the amount of people that you tell your vision to. Because number one, you have to actually see it in your mind before you actually see it in reality.
How tough is marketing for self-published authors?
I haven't self-published myself, but I cut my book in half. So the second part of the book I plan on self-publishing. But I've heard people that that has done self-publishing and they loved it. So I can't really speak on that, and I don't want to scare others to think that you can't do it, because I plan on doing it in the future. So that's why I cut my book in half. So I say whatever floats your boat. You do what you think is right, So if anything go wrong, you can say that you did it and nobody else. You listen to other people. So do what you feel like in your heart. That's why I say you go to God first for your answers to be, for Him to guide you of what decision you should make.
How was the journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
It was therapeutic. It was very, very therapeutic, having to relive these moments. having to relive the moments, stuff that I did not want to tell the world, but everyone's story is to help someone else. So your story is for someone else. So it was therapeutic because once the painful memories is out, it loses its power. So having to now smile back, jotting all those painful memories down. Now the struggle of it was having to relive that moment, crying it out and, procrastinating because I did not want to relive the moment. Well, not really reliving it, but having to tell people, So yeah, it was good. I'm glad that I did go on and do it, because this book will help others, and even if it's just for one person, I'm a mission accomplished.
Do you see the beginning of a story becoming a movie someday?
Of course I see it becoming a movie someday, and I think that everyone should have that mentality of thinking that their work is that good. But for me, all jokes aside, which I was really serious, but I've always dreamed of being an author ever since I was younger. I was probably about in second, third grade. I told myself I'm gonna be this successful author, and I used to practice my signature, and throughout life would practice my signature because I said one day somebody's gonna want it. But going through life, it got pushed in the back of my head. So it was like, and so I tend to have dreams that come true. And so I had dreamed my brother's death years before it had happened. And so when he died, the end of that year, something just kept telling me to write, and I was made up every excuse of why I couldn't and why I shouldn't write. I'm getting older, I don't know what to write about, because and I'm thinking this is my old self, telling my old self, to write. And that year marking around his death day, which was around February 19, 2017, I couldn't get it off my heart and my mind, and I mean it was just like heavily, like every day, all day, and I'm just like, and I asked God to give me a sign. I said, God, if you want me to write, give me a sign. And God wound up giving me my sign to write, and I started writing. So in the book, everything's truthful. I made up names, I changed names to protect people's identity, but I made up a psychologist, so he's made up. And in the book, I'm telling him, truthful things in each sessions. And so after I wrote the book, I cut it off because, the second part, like I said, I wanted to self-publish, so I cut the book off. And after I started typing it, because I wrote it down first, I started typing it, God had me meet a psychologist online, which I didn't know he was a psychologist at the time until we started, communicating more. And I was just like, well, what are the odds of, writing about a psychologist and then, coming across a psychologist? So then I used him to tell me the things, like what is to be seen in a psychologist's office, and, what would I call them, and, what's your height and weight? And so it was as if God was placing him in my life so that he can break and chip down all that fear that was, in me, and to slap me away. So God will always place people in your path to get you to where he's trying to get you. And so, God put it in my heart being younger. Then he gave me my sign to write. So the only thing left is to only know, you got to speak stuff into existence, and, walking by faith and not by sight, which my book, I got my hand out with the blindfold, which isn't an actual picture of myself, but it's a woman, but of course it was my idea, and it's of saying I'm walking by faith and not by sight. So I got my hand out to God, and so that's why I say this book is to help people all over, to let you know, because I've had some things that I had to go through in this book of, me having children, and I'm thinking that I couldn't have children because, I was, my financials wasn't right, and how I had to cry out to him, to give me signs that everything's going to be okay, and having to get on welfare, and, and it's basically crying out in the book of saying, this isn't the life that I was supposed to be living, and then I'm going to school But while I was in school, I got to go through public speaking, which I was scared of speaking in front of people. But hey, if you want to be an author, especially a famous author, you have to get used to speaking, and so that's why I say, when you thinking that your life is just topsy-turvy, as God of saying, okay, you need this and you need that and you need this, and then he's stirring it around, and now he's like, okay, so what you gonna do with that pain? And his book is very dear to my heart, because I can't believe that I had to tell the world. I was wanting to keep it all in, but that is being selfish, and you got to do what God tells you to do. So you will enjoy the beginning of her story, and I appreciate you all for watching, and I appreciate you for having me on. And the beginning of her story is to inspire you all. Never ever, whatever goes on in your life, always have faith in God and go after your dreams. Thank you all, and you all have a nice day.
Order your copy of The Beginning of Her Story by Crystal Ann Mitchell from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this interview series, we would introduce you to the most promising authors, entrepreneurs, and professionals. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your show host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. Let me tell you that Reverend Crown Publications is inviting manuscript submissions in all genres. Traditional publishing is free. You can submit your manuscript by visiting reverendcrown.com. If you are looking for self-publishing services or video content creation like author, business or professional interview, documentary feature film, explainer video, cinematic book blog video, or more for your book or business, then visit reversedorderexistence.com by Blaze Goldburst. Hurry now and do not be late in this race. Invest in the long term, act now, be an inspiration, get your story out to the world and be a success. Let us begin the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this 13th episode, we are introducing you to Derek Eliush, the author of 8813, the continuation of a legacy.
Hello, how you doing, people? Good afternoon. My name is Derek Lewis. However, my poetry name I go by is the People's Poet, and I'm here to talk about my book 8813, the continuation of a legacy. It's my fourth book. So, without further ado, I would like to thank, first and foremost, Mr. Blaze Goldburst for having me on your platform.
How was your experience in writing 8813, the continuation of a legacy?
And without further ado, as far as my experience of writing my book, it's been a joyous experience because I look at poetry as very therapeutic for me. It helps me release things once I write it, have a weight lifted off my shoulders. If I feel something, I write about it. If I see something, I write about it. If I don't agree with something, I write about it my own way.
What struggles did you face in the journey to becoming a published author?
As far as my struggles, as far as becoming an author, I would say it's been self-inflicted. As I've been saying for years, I was going to be an author, I was going to write books, do all this and do all that. And I never did it because personal thing came up, life came up, putting it on the back burner, making excuses for myself. So I had to take a hard look at myself in 2019. Be like, you can't keep saying you're going to put out a book and you never do. So I finally got over that hurdle, that's out of my comfort zone, and finally wrote my book.
How is 8813, the continuation of a legacy, going to create an impact on the minds of the people?
And for creating an impact for said book, I hope it's a poetry book. Most of my poems are in there, and most of my poems deal with life situations, current situation going on, and all that. So I will say the impact I'm hoping that my book will bring out is critical thinking and having empathy for others. By that I mean try to put yourself in other people's shoes instead of judging. Try to assess all viewpoints instead of your own narrow viewpoints. Be open-minded about things. Don't be so close-minded and so judgmental on things, because you never know what people are going through. People might do this, might do something else that you don't agree with, but you don't know what they're going through at times, so you can't really judge them, because we have all done things that we're not necessarily proud of and all that. So you cannot really judge people on what they choose to do, how they choose to live their lives. And
would you consider poetry as a dying art?
And for poetry being a dying art, I think if someone is to a certain extent, like it's starting to pick up, but you see less and less people. Like some people might not know how to convey what they want to say on pen and paper. Some people are afraid to open up and expose their vulnerabilities, insecurities, which you can't be afraid to expose yourself, because what you expose vulnerable to you might help somebody else in the long run get through what they going through. So you gotta be yourself and don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Like insecurities, I know people like to act tough and hard on the outside, but the inside they might be going through some things and they don't know how to properly get that out. So I would say yes, it is a dying art, but at the end of the day it's slowly but surely climbing. And I think if more people wrote out their feelings and knew how to do it, I think the world would be better off. No different than singers, rappers writing lyrics about what they going through with poetry. The same thing. This white, what you going through, how you feel, it will help you, make you feel better and all that.
How should rising authors deal with haters in the book industry?
In everything you do, you're going to have naysayers, going to have negative people out there, going to have haters and all that. So best way to ignore them, to keep doing what you're doing. Let them motivate you, because that's what I do. I've been having people hate on me my whole life. Like diagnosed with epilepsy, all that stuff. I've been having haters tell me what I can't do, what I can't do. The best thing you could do for a non-believer like them is to show them. Don't just tell them. And if you, after you show them and they still don't believe, that's on them. But don't let they get to you, because once you let they get to you, that means they got you right where they want you. They want to keep you where you are, keep you where they are. Most haters are just hating because maybe they admire you and just afraid to say maybe you doing something they want to do, and they just envious you, but they not going to admit it to you. So try not to take it too personal. Don't let it get to you. They keep doing you. Be true to you. Don't try to switch up, be somebody else, because people that know you gonna catch on and call you out. So I know for me, I try to be as authentic as I can and all that. I don't try to switch up. I don't try to go with the flow, talk about things I don't know about. That's the easy way out. Talk about things you don't know about. Just try to glorify some things that you had no idea about, or try to glorify things that might be hip and trendy to do. You see other people doing it, boosting your sales or whatever, but no, just stick to what you know and all that. Don't switch up to be yourself. So for me, that's how you deal for haters. And it could be some advice to writers out there that want to write, don't know how to do it, don't think nobody will listen to you. I know what you're gonna do. I've been there. I ain't think nobody gonna listen to me. Who gonna listen to this kid, epilepsy? Who gonna listen to him? But it turns out people are listening, cause I be having people tell me they inspired by my poetry, Lessen and all that. Helton got through. They think they the only people going through things. I write about real life situations, current situations. I write about the stuff that people scared to say, but they thinking they scared of consequence. They scared of the blowback, the backlash from people they consider they equal, or to be cool with. They afraid of what they gonna think, but you can't do that, cause once you go into afraid and timid, there's gonna always be that limit. So you can't limit yourself. Don't be scared, cause and timid. Write about your true feelings. Write about your situations. Like, try it out. Like, not for everybody. Everything's not for everybody, but try it out. I know for me it's therapeutic. Like I said, it helped me get through a lot of things. Cause I wrote about some things I didn't think I was gonna be able to get through and share. You know, certain poems I wrote or personal, like I had to stop, collect my thoughts and all that. I got emotional, got teary-eyed writing it, but yeah. So once again, thank you, Blaze, for having me on your platform. Once again, my name is Derek Lewis, the People Poet. Thank y'all for listening. I see you and see you.
Order your copy of 8813, The Continuation of a Legacy by Derek L. Lewis from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this interview series, we would introduce you to the most promising authors, entrepreneurs, and professionals. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your show host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. Let me tell you that Reverend Crown Publications is inviting manuscript submissions in all genres. Traditional publishing is free. You can submit your manuscript by visiting reverendcrown.com. If you are looking for self-publishing services or video content creation like author, business or professional interview, documentary feature film, explainer video, cinematic book blog video or more for your book or business, then visit reversedorderexistence.com by Blaze Goldburst. Hurry now and do not be late in this race. Invest in the long term, act now, be an inspiration, get your story out to the world and be a success.
Let us begin the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this 14th episode, we are introducing you to Jeffrey Estrella, the author of The Time Stone.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Estrella, the author of The Time Stone, science fiction fantasy adventure novel that I published. It's been a long journey since I first started it. It's been a book I started about 30 years ago when I was a child, and I've been working on it regularly. Started with a dream I had at night, and I took notes, and that night those notes eventually became the manuscript that was the basis for the book. The book was finished around 2013. I recall a plane trip to China with my wife, and I was so happy. And the journey since then was immense. 2014, I self-published the first edition, and then did a second edition in 2015 with Tate Publishing after some editions. Then I did another self-publishing, a third edition, and a semi-third edition in 2016, 17, and then 2018, the fourth edition. Then in 2019, I contracted with Austin Macaulay Publishers in the UK and did the final sixth edition, which is the one that's available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Austin Macaulay website, and other online retailers. And I highly recommend The Time Stone because it's an excellent science fiction fantasy adventure story about four unlikely heroes from the opposite sides of the track who embark on the ultimate human adventure surrounding an ancient alien transportation device. These unlikely heroes are based on real life, sort of, but also based on a lot of imagination. And I try to do a lot of social commentary in the book on the political and social and economic inequalities of the world, problems in the world, and how to address those in an entertainment and science fiction venue. I hope that you enjoy it and would like to read it. Thank you.
Do you see The Time Stone becoming a movie someday?
I definitely see The Time Stone becoming a movie someday. I believe that it has the potential for franchise, television, or film, and I have slowly adapted it to a screenplay on my own, but look for opportunities to present it to those audiences that can make it into a successful film or production. I believe that The Time Stone has the ability to help people. It's the first in a series. I've done part of the sequel, The Time Stone 2, The Curse of the Jade Dragon, and I envision two others in the series. There's also a Time Stone Christmas Legend miniseries in which I use the same characters for Christmas stories since 2014, 2020. So there's 7 so far, and possibly more to come. And I believe that these allows these stories to be explored in an entertaining venue that explore real life issues.
How tough is marketing for self-published authors?
There are a lot of struggles to overcome when dealing with traditional publishing or publishing through non-traditional means. And I believe that it's all about the individual. You gotta roll up your sleeves and not give up. Continue to write, continue to be encouraged, don't let others discourage you. People may try to put you down, but you have to just continue to work hard to develop those skills to write and to focus on achieving your dreams by writing and continuing to develop those into a good story that people can enjoy. Traditional publishing, non-traditional publishing, independent publishing are all great, and it's up to the individual based on what your needs are, what your means are. Not everyone can attract the traditional publisher right away, so sometimes you have to self-publish and continue to market yourself, whether it's on social media or through friends and family, word of mouth in your neighborhood, and so forth.
What is your opinion about traditional publishing? Would you ever like to venture into the traditional route?
For publishers, there's probably millions of writers out there looking to get their books out there. I would definitely entertain traditional publishing if it was presented, but now I'm happy with the Austin Macaulay edition and the prior editions. And I could only see good things for the book in the future. The Time Stone has potential to be great, and I will definitely look forward to the opportunity to present it to a proper audience or proper venue for traditional publishing and filmmaking and so forth. There's a lot of struggles involved in publishing, and definitely you can't give up and continue to write and do what you can to market yourself and market your book. Thank you.
Order your copy of The Time Stone by Jeffrey Estrella from the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this interview series, we would introduce you to the most promising authors, entrepreneurs, and professionals. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your show host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. Let me tell you that Reverend Crown Publications is inviting manuscript submissions in all genres. Traditional publishing is free. You can submit your manuscript by visiting reverendcrown.com. If you are looking for self-publishing services or video content creation like author, business or professional interview, documentary feature film, explainer video, cinematic book blog video or more for your book or business, then visit reversed-existence.com by Blaze Goldburst. Hurry now and do not be late in this race. Invest in the long term, act now, be an inspiration, get your story out to the world and be a success.
Let us begin the Blaze Goldburst show. In this 15th episode, we are introducing you to Sivatsolav Alberio, the author of Eye of Power.
Hi, I'm Sivatsolav Alberio. I'm a teacher, a writer, a translator, an anti-xenophobic person, and I stand for all rainbow rights. I'm a psychologist and I have degrees in academic writing and in creative writing.
How was your experience in writing Eye of Power?
I was writing it about 15 years. It's a result of my psychological work. The main line of the plot is a blend of real thoughts from conversations with my patients, with my friends, with my internet friends. It's worked out analysis of news, discussions, article, some people and even haters. Also, my village when I was grown changed, and I tried to keep the spirit of that place and all memories in the book. It's always treasure for me to read about such things, and I decided to give the treasure I had to my readers.
Which real-life events inspired you to write this book?
The gratitude from one of my clients. Thank you. They all talk about something different, he said. It wasn't just thank you for me, but after his phrase that they all talked about something different, I began to think and thought up a novel. It's social prose about a man and a woman who want to be themselves. But firstly, they need to decide what does it mean to be a man, a woman, and what family is. There are people who believe in progress and who are afraid of the regress.
How should authors deal with the haters in the book industry?
This journey is going till now. I think the problem is that now we haven't good agents. I don't know, maybe they have gone to somewhere, to some Netherlands, and now writers must be agents for themselves. And instead to say something to their reader, we must waste our time to self-promotion and we must know marketing, but it's not our job. And even I want to pay to someone for promotion, for example, or I want to pay to some agency. They offers are so ridiculous, so silly that I can take it seriously. So I see the main problem for writers. It's routine, lazy capitalism, because government isn't interested in supporting the teachers of humankind. Oh, it's a good question, and I have an answer. Love. It's not only for writers. Love at them. Evil and ignorant. They can take when someone laughs at them. And if we say seriously, I can say that the world is big, and there is a room for everyone, and no one is unique. Each writer has their readers, but in capitalism it's hard to find them. It's hard to meet each other. But they are, our readers are, and haters can find their writers too. Just say them it, and don't forget that to be disliked by some people is the best compliment. Yes, I think that you should take opinions only from people for whom you write.
What is the future of LGBTQ fiction?
Well, until we have internet, it will develop, because we are here, and we always were, and always will be. And we always have our own ways to say about us. I'm glad to see that this fiction takes part of the market, and I'm glad to eat both, like a writer and like a reader. Well, the main thing is the book. For me remains the guide to improving life. It's fashionable now to tell that books owe nothing to anyone. My books owe to humanity. I write to make your life better.
Order your copy of Eye of Power by Tsivatslav Elberio. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this interview series, we would introduce you to the most promising authors, entrepreneurs, and professionals. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your show host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. Let me tell you that Reverend Crown Publications is inviting manuscript submissions in all genres. Traditional publishing is free. You can submit your manuscript by visiting reverendcrown.com. If you are looking for self-publishing services or video content creation like author, business or professional interview, documentary feature film, explainer video, cinematic book blog video or more for your book or business, then visit reversedorderexistence.com by Blaze Goldburst. Hurry now and do not be late in this race. Invest in the long term, act now, be an inspiration, get your story out to the world and be a success.
Let us begin the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this 16th episode, we are introducing you to Dr. Ravindran K.A., the author of Build a High Performance Culture.
Hi everyone. First of all, let me thank your team, Blaze Goldburst, for inviting me to your channel and talk about my book. Let me introduce myself first. I am Dr. Ravindran. I am a management graduate. I have done my PhD in management. I am working in the industry more than close to 30 years, and basically I'm an HR professional. I work with a Japanese setup these days, and major of my work experience is with Japanese setups, and I am also a certified life coach.
What message would you like to give to your potential leaders of Build a High Performance Culture?
Right. I come up with this idea of the title, Build a High Performance Culture. See, I've seen many employees with high talents or maybe rich talents, but they are just not able to produce the results due to various reasons. Maybe specifically due to organizational cultural gaps. Every organization have their own DNA, their own culture. If you don't have the right culture in the organization, such high talented employees may not be able to produce the results the way you are looking at. So improving these employees' performance is always a triggering point for the organization, and personally I have been helping such employees to move from their current level to a next level of performance. So I always wanted to help and contribute to getting people moved into high performing category, so that organization also get benefited out of this. I wanted to extend the possible support and do my coaching on the performance improvement area where I can make some impact on their lives.
How was the journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
Alright. Every first time authors, they come across many challenges. They also face a lot of difficulties when they start writing. Same with me, I also faced a lot of challenges. So I majorly faced the consistency in writing and keep on editing to explore the perfection, which definitely caused a delay in publication. See, every author, this is the basic problem. They always look for perfection in the first draft, which you never can achieve. So don't look for the perfection. Whatever comes in your mind, please start writing. Keep editing later. If you keep editing at this moment, you will not be able to achieve your final destination. So what I personally face the challenges is that consistency. Because of this, though they keep on editing, the consistency was not coming. So I was not able to finalize my first draft even after many years. But then finally I took a decision, this cannot reach anywhere. So I first made my first draft with all the errors, without seeing what I wrote last few months, few days. So better to concentrate to the content what you are writing, put on more weightage what you write, the free writing you should come with, and maybe the editing can be done later. Maybe first you make first draft, after that only you go for editing. Maybe multiple editing can help you to reach to perfection. Of course, there are so many factors for my inspiration to write this book, Build a High Performance Culture. So let me talk about a few of them here. Throughout my career, I have worked with high, average and poor performers. In organizations, the importance of high performers is always exceptional, and accordingly the recognition happens. That everyone knows. So the high performers are always differently empowered, differently recognized, whereas the low and average performers is not given much importance as compared to high performers. So my attempt was to always address such performers' empowerment wherever and whatever possible way, so that that organization is benefited after enhancing or improving their performance. I mean, they reach to a certain level of performance level. So being an HR professional, often I witness such scenarios in any organizations. Even when I started my career, I was not a super performer. I am being from a small village. When I migrated to a big city like Delhi, faced lots of shortcomings in terms of my personal development. That held me back at multiple instances, resulting in a low confidence person. Since then, I decided that I will gear up and match up the pace to myself in a win-win condition. I worked on my skills and empowered myself, moved from average to high performing category. Since then, I was thinking I should contribute to those category employees who feel left out when we filter through various mechanisms followed in the organization. In every organization there are systems followed to identify such low performing employees every year or from time to time. So within the organization, I can help only a handful of people, but how do I help the society? So that is how the thought process came in. Then this idea hit me that if I put this in a book of form, whatever I had my learnings across these last 3 decades, it can be benefited by everyone in the society. And that is how I started writing my book, which was due for publishing for a long time, and finally it is out in the market. So this been my inspiring background for writing my first book.
How tough is marketing for Indian authors?
Okay, so let me talk about my first published book. For me, it's been a long, difficult journey to get here. Probably years worth of work, sweat, and tears in pursuit of my dream. I feel so proud to be an author after publishing my first book, which was a dream come true. Right? So my first book titled Build a High Performance Culture. Of course, now I can think of publishing more books after gaining confidence from my first book. I just took the first baby step towards the entrepreneurship, and now I'm confident writing more books. So my first book is with the title of Build a High Performance Culture.
Have the reading habits of the people declined in this digital age? How can we overcome this situation?
Yes, I have put a tagline, rather it's a subtitle to my book, Move from Ordinary to Extraordinary. So that's my subtitle. If you see my book cover, you can see that subtitle, Move from Ordinary to Extraordinary. So how can someone become extraordinary and achieve extraordinary growth in their careers? That's what I would like to share here. I would like to list few items which can impact your success. Basically, I would like to focus on the few characteristics or the qualities you must develop to become successful in whatever you are doing or you want to do in future. So first, foremost important quality I would like to put in front of you is the be a target oriented. You have to be a target oriented person. Fix your outcomes very clearly, very categorically, rather specifically with a SMART formula. Hope you will understand this SMART formula. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, T stands for time bound. So if you focus on this SMART formula, you will be able to achieve your outcomes what you planned. So the moment you become a target oriented person, I think then skies are the limit. So you have to be a target oriented person. That I'm sure it will take you to the success. The next prime most important is the you have to be a quality oriented person. So today everyone is quality conscious. In everywhere you go, you expect a quality service from everywhere. So you as an individual always needs to be a quality oriented person. The third foremost important quality I would look at is the cost orientation. You have to be a cost conscious person. When you are working with any organization, there are costs involved in operations. So if you are as an employee, you have a lot of responsibility to save a lot of cost. So that is only possible the employee becomes aware of the cost. If he is cost conscious, I'm sure the organization can benefit and the individual also can benefit. And the fourth most important quality I would focus here is each individual has to be customer oriented. If you are with any organization, you have to be there with a high quality customer service person. So if you go to any place, you expect the same service from the other person. Same way, when you are into service, I'm not talking about only you are into customer service. If you are in the organization, there are two types of customers, internal and external customers. So even if you are serving internal customers, you need to have the same enthusiasm in serving the other co-employee so that he is happy with your services. That is what I mean about the customer orientation here. So wherever you are, whatever you are doing, so please put your 100% customer orientation when you do the service. That is most important in today's world. The next point I would like to emphasize is you have to be a very good communicator, right? I'm sure the communication can only take you to the success. If you want to really become a successful leader, better you be a public speaker. So the communication becomes one of the major important role when you come to the leadership roles. So you have to be a better communicator also. Then next quality I would like to talk about is the team player. You have to be a good team player to achieve the results together and succeed. So you have to be a team player so that you can get whatever you want to achieve. You cannot do anything in the organization alone. You have to be there in the team. You have to work for team so that you get all the support for your success. So work together, get results, achieve success. And the last item I would like to talk about is the learn to be humble and respectful. Right? In totality, I would say it's humility. The quality I would say here, it's humility. Right? I would recall a popular quotation from a popular management guru, Philip Van Hoos. He says, treating everyone with respect, regardless of who they are or their station in life, is an act of leadership. This is what the quote given by familiar management guru Philip Van Hoos. So there are so many examples I would like to quote. See, our great leader, father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He is one of the best example. Whenever I get an opportunity, I quote about him for the humility. Everyone may be knowing about the Porbandar travel, right? So I'm not explaining in detail. The second person I always quote for humility is our great leader Sri Ratan Tata. You may be knowing his way of leadership. So he is the best example I quote from the industry, that one of the best in terms of the best humility what he shows towards the people. All right, so let me give some insights about the important elements, most important elements for writing. So as per me, the author must focus on the purpose of writing and to whom we are writing. I mean the audience, which audience you want to get into. So that is most important. So that what message you are giving to the audience, which audience, that has to be very clear at the first instance. Then I would consider the clarity of the content so that the reader can get the right message what the author wants to pass on. Choose clear and precise words so that the readers easily can comprehend and don't require a dictionary, so that reader can easily understand the language. I mean, you always use a simple language and words so that readers can easily understand your message, what you want to pass on. Yeah, let me give this message. Be a winner and be known as extraordinary individual. That is the only way you can progress in life ahead. With this, I'll conclude with a great quotation from Mother Teresa. None of us, including me, ever do great things, but we can all do small things with great love, and together we can do something wonderful. Thank you so much.
Order your copy of Build a High Performance Culture by Dr. Ravindran K.A. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching the Blaze Goldburst Show.
Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this interview series, we would introduce you to the most promising authors, entrepreneurs, and professionals. Hi, I'm Saurabh, your show host and the publisher of Reverend Crown Publications. Let me tell you that Reverend Crown Publications is inviting manuscript submissions in all genres. Traditional publishing is free. You can submit your manuscript by visiting reverendcrown.com. If you are looking for self-publishing services or video content creation like author, business or professional interview, documentary feature film, explainer video, cinematic book blog video or more for your book or business, then visit reversedorderexistence.com by Blaze Goldburst. Hurry now and do not be late in this race. Invest in the long term, act now, be an inspiration, get your story out to the world and be a success.
Let us begin the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this 17th episode, we are introducing you to Catherine E. Soto, the author of Abducted, an alien romance anthology.
Hi, I'm Catherine E. Soto. I'm a fantasy writer. My passion for writing started in high school with free-form poetry writing, although I do remember doing creative story writing from my grandmother. She loved my stories. I enjoy composing short stories, flash fiction, poetry, and sci-fi fantasy novels. I've written my first fantasy novel in 2019, and I plan to write a series. My first book will be published this year in 2021. My upcoming book is titled Grey Dawn of Darwin, Cat's Island. The book blurb: an ancient map found by Earth Dragonborn clan Grey Dawn Fields leads to an expedition that everyone else in her fields thinks is crazy. Threats are made against her and the university that supports her. Grey is determined to finish her mission to find an underground human settlement on Cat's Island. Will she find the adventure takes her to the end of her career or to the find of the century?
What message would you like to give to your potential readers about your book?
To my readers, never ever give up on your dreams. Believe in yourself and your skills. In my book, Grey Dawn of Darwin, Cat's Island, Braydon Fields is an archaeologist who doesn't give up on her dream of finding an underground settlement. She goes in search of something everybody else thinks doesn't exist.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
I've worked with an independent publisher. The process has been easy for me because they helped me to edit the book and redo the parts that needed rewriting. The struggle for me is that the publishing world moves slowly, so I must practice patience.
Do you feel that authors having great potential are shadowed in the book world? Do you believe there are haters in this book world led by big influential people trying hard to diminish the visibility of our splendid work?
I think that authors forget that we're not in competition with each other as writers. We're in competition with the book market world. I don't think any author would diminish another's work just to overshadow them or keep them from being successful. I think as authors we tend to get in our own way more than anything else.
Traditional publishing or self-publishing? Which is your preferred publishing route? What is the future of both the publishing routes?
I've taken a little bit of both the independent and traditional publishing ways, in which I am with a small independent publisher, Rhetoric Askew, out of Oklahoma. I am askew. They assist in editing and will publish the book, taking care of the cover and publishing things I don't know anything about. I will do a lot of the marketing alongside them to help sell the book. The future? I think there's a bright future for everyone who writes and wants to be in the book market, no matter how they approach publishing.
What message would you like to give to all rising and aspiring authors?
What message would I like to give to everyone, especially the rising and aspiring authors? You can create new worlds every day, and happiness should be a daily habit. I do have a short story coming out in an anthology. Comes out in September of 2021. The anthology is titled Abduction, an Alien Romance Anthology. My story is titled The Light Couple. Pre-orders are being taken now. You can find that, more information on that book, on my website at https://Catherine with a K, Soto-author.com. That's Catherine Soto-author.com. You can read about me. You can read my blog. I love comments and I do answer email. My link tree with my social media links is at linktree/Catherine Soto-author. Thank you for having me today.
Order your copy of Abducted, an Alien Romance Anthology by Catherine E. Soto. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show. Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this interview series, we would introduce you to the most promising authors, entrepreneurs and professionals. Hi, I'm Blaze Goldburst, author of Reversed Order Existence and the CEO of Blaze Goldburst Technologies. Welcome to the world of traditional publishing. Reverend Crown Publications is inviting manuscript submissions in all genres. Traditional publishing should be accessible not to a few but to everyone. Whether you are a rising or aspiring author, Reverend Crown Publications will make your dream come true. Blaze Goldburst Technologies has brought to you the global #1 services platform for authors, entrepreneurs and professionals. In reversedorderexistence.com by Blaze Goldburst, we bring to you self-publishing packages, video content creation for your book or business, audiobook publishing, and a lot more. Invest in the long term, act now, be an inspiration, get your story out to the world, and be a success. In this 19th episode, we are introducing you to Anna Alicia Murby, the author of The Right Way to Say Goodbye. How is the right way to say goodbye going to inspire the lives of the people?
Hi, my name is Anna Murby, and today I am going to be talking about my book, The Right Way to Say Goodbye. This book is meant to inspire anybody who's feeling that their life is really in a tough space. Right now you may be feeling like the story itself is about a young man who's struggling to deal with his estranged marriage. He's raising a son on his own. He's heartbroken. He used to believe in God, but he doesn't now. And it's dealing with his emotional state of that. And I think we as human beings can relate to that easily because we all have situations in life we weren't expecting to happen to us, and yet they did. And we have to figure out how to navigate through that. And it can sometimes cause us to feel like we've lost our ability to trust that God is good, but God is always good. No matter what we do, no matter how situations go, He is always there for us. And this is a good story that I think will inspire anybody to not give up on God and not to give up on the things that you want in life.
Do you see The Right Way to Say Goodbye becoming a movie someday?
And I do see this book being a movie someday. I always thought maybe it would be good on the Hallmark Channel out in America. But honestly, I could see it being a movie in any sense. When I write, I always visualize everything in my head. So I'm always seeing a movie in my head while I'm writing. And I think that's what makes it easier for me to write, because I'm feeling the emotion. I'm understanding the characters, I'm getting involved in the story, and that's always how I've written, because I've always loved movies. So that's just how I channel my creative side, is I just put it into writing. So yeah, I can see it as a movie someday. I hope maybe it'll become a movie, who knows.
How should authors deal with haters in the book industry?
For authors dealing with haters in the book industry, there's going to be haters everywhere you go about everything you do in life. There's someone who's probably not even going to like what I'm saying right now, and that's okay. I find my worth in what God thinks of me, not what other people think of me. I try to put my best out there, and I encourage all writers to just do your best and to just love what you do, and to not be afraid to put it out there because you're afraid of those who are going to hate it. There will be people. It's inevitable. Someone isn't going to like what you have to say, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that. If you know that what you did is from your heart, then send it out there. Let other people experience it, because you never know how it's going to be received. The right people will receive it the right way.
Would you prefer traditional publishing or self-publishing? What is the future of self-publishing?
And I did traditional publishing. I have never tried self-publishing, but I do applaud those who do it, because I know it's probably a lot more work than just doing traditional publishing. I think it's great that people self-publish, and I do see that the future could very well be self-publishing, because you have more free range to do what you want, how you want to do it. And I think that's a great opportunity for many people who may not be able to do the traditional route, or their book wasn't able to be accepted by them.
How can authors market their books and become successful?
And for authors to market their book and become successful, I think it depends on the author, the person, their connections, but there's many different alternative ways to do it. I mean, you can go on Facebook and you can promote. You can go on Instagram, YouTube. You know, there's many different companies that want to help from all around the world. It's an amazing way to network going through social media, but I mean, there's always traditional ways as well.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
My journey to becoming a published author was not really easy. I spent 5 years working on this story, because I have 4 children and my life has been tumultuous in many different ways. I've had a lot of tough times in my personal life that also led me to write this book, and I want to encourage other people with my story. So that's why I write. I love writing what God tells me to write, and I'm currently working on a second book, which I hope will also be encouraging to people when I start, sharing about that one. But for this book, I had a lot of struggles, but that was because I was trying to write what I wanted to write rather than writing what I felt God wanted me to write. And I can sometimes be a perfectionist, so that also is what took a long time to write. It's because I kept trying to fix it better and better and better rather than just letting God say, it's done, it's good.
Order your copy of The Right Way to Say Goodbye by Anna Alicia Murby. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching the Blaze Goldburst show. Welcome to the Blaze Goldburst Show. In this interview series, we would introduce you to the most promising authors, entrepreneurs and professionals. Hi, I'm Blaze Goldburst, author of Reversed Order Existence and the CEO of Blaze Goldburst Technologies. Welcome to the world of traditional publishing. Reverend Crown Publications is inviting manuscript submissions in all genres. Traditional publishing should be accessible not to a few but to everyone. Whether you are a rising or aspiring author, Reverend Crown Publications will make your dream come true. Blaze Goldburst Technologies has brought to you the global #1 services platform for authors, entrepreneurs and professionals. In reversedorderexistence.com by Blaze Goldburst, we bring to you self-publishing packages, video content creation for your book or business, audiobook publishing and a lot more. Invest in the long term, act now, be an inspiration, get your story out to the world and be a success. In this 21st episode, we are introducing you to Dr. Pallavi, the author of The Door to Confidence Opens Here.
Hey friends, this is Dr. Pallavi, author of the book The Door to Confidence Opens Here. Thank you to Saram and team for giving me an opportunity to share about me, my experience of writing the book and more. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Let me introduce myself first. Various labels in my journey of past 40 years, doesn't seem to be, but yes. Let me start from my family. I am married and practicing to be happily married by taking ownership of my happiness in my hands, and mother of 2 beautiful daughters, Delisha and Akira, aged 10 and 7. And then I started my journey at a very small age as my daughters. I was 8 or 9 when I started as a magician. I hold my name in Limca Book of Records as the youngest magician of India. We have performed several thousand shows across the country and also outside. I was blessed to be the first Indian magician to be seen on Indian television. I'm talking about 30 years back. And first Indian little girl magician representing the country on a foreign land. So that's a blessing indeed as well. I feel magic is my passion. We performed several shows, 2.5 hours with illusions, vanishing and cutting and producing, and that is like my passion, and that took me to exploring the real magic of life, because I did not want to just, restrict it to entertainment. So that was always my self-talk, that I wish to explore the real magic, and it is. And that has opened the doors for me, which I'm sharing with the world. And the magic was my passion, my hobby. And my career that I chose was blessed to be a physio. I completed my master's in physiotherapy from one of the best institutes in India, Central Government Institute, All India Institute of Physical Medicine and Rehab Center, Mumbai, Haji Ali. And me and my husband together, we started our journey as physios, and then he chose to choose finance as his further walk of life, and I continued the journey of physiotherapy, serving the community and helping them target the source of their pain. And that was always my vision, my mission, to target the source of pain. And that one word given to my own self opened the doors for me and the people of understanding pain at a very, very deeper perspective, from unseen to seen. As a physio, understanding the physical dimensions and then the energetic dimensions, because I became a pranic healer, understanding energy sciences, and then emotional guide, understanding the role of thought patterns and emotions, and how powerfully they can impact us, our pain, lives, in fact every area of life. So that's my journey. Well, how do I spend my day is at times it occurs very crazy or boring to people around me, but yeah, no news, no gossips, no newspapers. I love to read books, write, keep developing myself. That's my passion. I am connected to spirituality. Since my childhood, I lost connection with my own spirit or soul in the middle part of my life, and now I feel I'm connecting back, and that's super powerful. That's super powerful. Why I'm sharing this is I want each one of you to get this. So that's who I am. Thank you.
How was your experience in writing? The door to confidence opens here.
Well, my experience of writing was crazy. One rule that I followed was get it down and then get it right. Getting up at 3 a.m. and the lights are off, but you have something clicked. You get up from bed and then you just start scribbling. Your husband is lying beside you and he just hears something. He gets up and sees you scribbling in dark, and he's like, what is the crazy thing you're doing? And the words, they don't flow, in perfection, but you just want to put it on paper. That's how important it is, readers. If you want to write a book, I would say this is one of the very crazy and important thing. Whenever I had this thought clicked, I have done crazy things, I'm sitting in the rig and with luggage, wherein you have no scope of taking out paper and writing, but until you reach home, this is going to slip up from your mind. You immediately just record it. So I have done voice recording, I've done voice typing, and then scribbling it any time of the day, whenever it clicks, like it's just a thought, and you have to put it on paper immediately as soon as you have it. And when I started practicing this, reminding myself that okay, get it down and then you get it right. So even when I'm treating a patient and immediately something clicks, that, oh, this is so important. And then I just immediately leave what I'm doing and then first write, thinking long term that this is what really matters. This is what really matters. So my experience of writing was really crazy. And then right from, you have a vision, you have a purpose, you have a self-declaration, and you start writing, and then it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You just put things, and then at the end everything matches. So I followed the technique of automatic writing also after meditation, just scribbling and believing in whatever you are writing. This is a very super powerful hypnotic writing that I have used. I feel I'm so thankful for the divine guidance that has channelized my energies to put my thoughts on paper and share it with the world. And at the same time, this inner call that, no, I know something deep within that this works, and this was missing, and this is what made me struggle, and this is the access, and I want the world to get it. And one very crazy thing is whenever I learned something new clicked, and I felt like, oh yes, this was missing and we need to follow this. So I used to go to my husband and share, and at times he just discarded that thought, and then I felt, maybe hurt, gone into lower vibration. But then I thought that no, if I believe, I have to share it with the world and then leave it to the world to accept it or reject it. But unless and until I share, how will things fall in place? If there are 7 billion people in the world, there are 7 billion worlds living together. So whoever resonates will automatically be attracted, and that is what happened. So I had to let go of a lot of criticism. I had to let go of a lot of judgments. I had to let go of a lot of my own self-doubts and just put things on paper with full faith. And then there was, I have put a lot of efforts into creating the images, not only writing but creating the images. We had I got connected to image designer, and I used to share my thoughts with him, and he created an image out of it, and we created around more than probably we created 50-100 images, and then we had to include few in the book. But that was an amazing experience, with only one commitment, that people can connect better to image than words. So a lot of effort has gone into it, right from choosing the name of the book and then locking it and going by your inner call. There were feedbacks for people who said that, no, this is too long, it won't work, or search for some other word. But then there was inner call that was guiding me all the time. Something clicked. I have also followed numerology, not cautiously, but the numerology numbers did guide me to lock the name of the book as well. So right from choosing the name, the book cover, the number of pages, number of chapters, name of the chapters, the content, the foreword, the afterword, the preface, the introduction. Yes, it was Yes, it was lots and lots of dedicated work, cautious work, focused work. At times I was certainly giving compromising my time. I had to sacrifice my time with my family, my friends, and just be focused to this. Did people judge me? Yes. Did they have complaints? Yes. My near and dear ones, they did have complaints that I was not giving enough time. But then did I waste my energy proving my side? No. I just kept pedaling like a duck, being calm superficially and pedaling within. And that kept me going. That okay, when the time comes, it will be shown. I need not waste my time in making me as an author very significant, that no, I'm writing a book and I need time. No, people didn't even know what I'm doing and the book was out. Honestly, that was my experience. So if at all you're working on something, just put your dedicated efforts into it. Don't make it an issue, then don't make it too significant, don't share too much about it. Honestly, not from fear, but then I feel let the results speak. You share with the right people, who surround yourself with the right people, right circumstances, with nature. I have gone to the temple and I have written, I remember, or maybe under a tree, or meditating and writing. So what are you connecting to when you want to awaken the creative side of you is very important. So that was my experience of writing. Crazy, yes. Did I have fears? Absolutely. Did I have to trust the uncertainties? Absolutely. There were a lot of uncertainties. Did it pull me out of my comfort zone? Oh my God, fully. Did I doubt myself? Yes, but I did not let it hook me. So it was about, getting aware of the emotion as fear or doubt, but telling yourself that it is just a feeling and it cannot hold me back. And then taking that leap of faith is what made a difference. I just saw 200 meters. Also there were concerns with money, and I just prayed and I said, no, it may take few days, it may take few weeks, it may take few months or maybe an year, but it will happen. And until then, I will remain calm. These are words by Jerry Robert. I learned from him when I did his course on writing a book long back. That was in 2014 when I was, I had just delivered, and I had my younger one was just 5 months old, and I did this course, and I had declared to be an author just 2 years back. That declaration was to myself and the world, and then that created anxiety that, oh my God, you have declared and you're not doing anything. So you have to go through all those mixed emotions, but still keep going. Take that step forward, one small step towards the goal every day. Did I have right reasons to say no or to let go of my dream? Yes, many right reasons. I had all the reasons for not doing it, but I kept going. I had to practice a lot of self-compassion, self-forgiveness, forgiving people around me, not getting entangled in their stories about me or anything. And that was a super learning experience. So yes, thank you God for all the experiences that has helped me transform myself into a better and more useful version of who I used to be. So yes, thank you, and it was all worthwhile, I feel. So that's all about my experience that clicks right now. Thank you.
Is your book inspired by real life events?
Certainly it is, because whatever breakdowns I started as with reading the book The Secret in 2005, and then I put certain things on vision board and writing affirmations, and it did produce amazing results. But then there was a time when there was a huge gap between what I want and what I had declared to myself or the world or put on the vision board, and the gap was getting bigger and bigger, and the bigger the gap was, it was taking me into a downward spiral with all the fears and doubt and anxiety and maybe depression. So I had to stand for myself, and I had to keep myself inspired and keep going by just one of the keys in the book is what so what, and what next, and that what next kept me exploring, and it took me to something else, what else can work, what else can. So my thought forms did not flow to problems but solutions, and that took me on a very beautiful and unique journey, taking me to several sciences, understanding energy at a very different, deeper and better and wider level. And I feel that from my experience, definitely the world, many can be inspired and pulled out of their downward spiral. So whatever I have got, I feel that I can bridge the gap, and I have shared that freely, that this was a missing link, this is why the affirmations did not work. It's not about that the affirmations are useless, but it's not just about positive or negative thinking, but it's different. It's like, okay, the cleansing was not happening. There was a lot of clogging around me of my own thoughts, my own journey, my own emotions, or thoughts and emotions of people around me. And that was not letting the new reality to manifest, or the impact of or influence of my own near and dear ones, whom I loved, but then their energies were influencing me. So how to still radiate love and yet not get influenced? This is a very powerful dynamics, and if we are able to practice, we can be unstoppable. So certainly worthwhile, and it is real life, not only for me but for each one of us. Thank you.
What message would you give to your potential readers about the door to confidence opens here?
Message to my readers: certainly you have to go on Amazon and buy the book. Place the order right now, because this is the time when the collective consciousness is really low. I know there are like thousands of, or millions of, or infinite, data available on social media, but this is something that is like quick. It is just what you need is you need to be open to try something new, committed to it, and take responsibility and charge of your own life in your own hands. And with full faith, you need to understand that why are you not able to produce results in your life? What was missing? So I would say that first thing you want to do is go buy the book and practice the cleansing technique. The cleansing techniques. The theme of the book is cleanse, align, seed and grow. And you can also go on my YouTube channel if you have any difficulties while you read, because it's certainly something unique. It's certainly something out of the box at times. Maybe you haven't read it. Maybe it may sound as in that we say what? Andhashraddha in Hindi. So it's like blind faith. Should you be doing that? Because in today's world we are more driven by the evidence-based approach, wherein you need logic and right brain conversations. We are influenced by that. We want to sound more intelligent. But this is, if you are that kind of person, then I would say this book is not for you.
Do you feel that authors having great potential are shadowed in the book world? Have haters in this book world, led by the big influential people, trying so hard to diminish the visibility of a splendid work?
Well, what I believe in is that if we are aligned to what we want, the universal forces, they take care. And that is how I attracted this opportunity. And if I believe that if I stay aligned to what I want with full faith, and what I tell myself is more important than what seems obvious otherwise as facts. If I focus on problems, I will have more problems and more unworkabilities. But if I focus on what I want and consider it to be reality, it will manifest, and that's all the book about. So I am also practicing it. Maybe I am at say 7-8%, but with 7-8% also I am seeing results. So it is just about staying tuned and keeping yourself on track by believing in what I just shared, and just seeing 200 meters and giving your best than concluding anything about how bad it is outside. This is what I believe in, and that's my truth. Thank you so much.
How tough is marketing for authors?
How tough is marketing? Well, what happened with me is I already I was blessed to be carrying this unique label of magician, and though 30 years back the digital world was not that evolved, but then I have performed several thousand shows, and with I had this one realization in my mind that I have heard that I faced say a crowd of say 5,000 people at a time or 25,000 people, and there was an event in Shravanbelgalam 25 years back wherein I was presenting in front of a lakh of audience at a time. So that was all done as a child predominantly, mainly. But then after my marriage, I had a 10 years of span wherein I had forgotten myself, I could not relate myself from that past anymore. I was completely dedicated to my family, my home, my children, and my career as a physio. So I did not even share that I hold my name in Lamka book and I'm a magician and I've performed several thousand shows. Though it's a fact that has happened. So what I had, this is my unique journey. So for me, how I reminded myself is I changed my name from Dr. Pallavi to Magician Pallavi, and I created a Facebook page of Magician Pallavi, and then I started, because my name changed from Pallavi Kasliwal, Magician Pallavi Kasliwal, to Dr. Pallavi Alap Deshpande. Now they seem to be two different people. So people who already knew me could not connect to me. So when I had breakdowns, I said, no, this will happen and the right ones will start connecting to me, resonating to me. So that is how I moved forward with faith. That there are people, it's not about, because I had faced this breakdown wherein I felt like left alone, no one supporting me, the immediate circle. I said, okay, I'm not writing this book for the 1,000 people around me, but for the several thousand or lakhs unknown who are waiting for me, who respect me, who know me. So I chose my community accordingly. I did not judge myself, or I did not conclude anything about myself based on the feedback of immediate people surrounding me. I just kept faith, and I followed one thing, that choose people who choose you. So that helped me reach the right audience. So keeping faith and meditating and aligning, and then not following that standard approach of paying for marketing, but I started promoting the book myself by maybe creating a video and really authentically contributing in people's life, ongoingly forwarding people and myself. Small posts every day, small reminders every day. So when you give, you get back. So I am still, I would say, a new beginner when it comes to marketing. But I feel that it is all about communication, about who you are and what you are doing and what are you up to, or what is this book about, why you are supposed to buy. So I created a Facebook page of the book, and then I started uploading. So what I would like the readers as well as the authors to know, that start from whatever resources you have. Start from wherever you are. Ask yourself that what is the best I can do right now with whatever I have. So not getting hooked up in naysayers, not getting hooked up in the breakdowns, not getting hooked up in the conversation of having lack of money. Nothing. When you believe, the money comes to you. So when I kept faith, I had, one of my uncles who invested in the book because he believed. He said, "You're doing authentic work, and I want to publish this." And I really thank him from heart and soul, Dr. Kataria. So he stood by me when I needed the most. My parents stood by me when I needed the most. So that belief so very important. One of my clients, she's a mother to me, Mrs. Sisodia. She stood by me when I needed the most, building your faith that yes, go ahead, you're doing the right thing, and we are waiting for your book. So there were several other clients too, but yeah, I would want to share about her specifically. Yes, my family, my husband did support me, but later on, after 90% of the work was done, and I left him with no choice but to support. So whether it is about anything, marketing, don't get hooked up in labels. Just make sure that you're reaching people, and people know. Don't take for granted that they know that once you have shared, so they know that you are an author. No, ongoingly you have to reach people. Maybe a simple post, but don't be too harsh on yourself. Be very compassionate and kind. I follow my inner call. I can't put myself in a box, in a structured box, because that builds in stress energy. So I follow my inner guidance. So if I feel, I will just create a post with the book cover image and some take home message, and I will post it, and that is enough. I have sold several books by doing that, and then taking sessions, guidance sessions, and authentically contributing to the world. So when you give and being very clear about what you want, and still having faith and accepting the no, accepting the resistances, that okay, let the right people, right time, right situation come to you. And until then, have faith and keep moving forward with grace and enjoy the now. Don't crave for anything. Just keep going. God bless. Thank you.
How was your journey to becoming a published author? What struggles did you undergo?
How was my journey? Struggles? Certainly. But I am so thankful to all the struggles and all the breakdowns and all the resistances around me, because that has made me tough. Today, I am unshaken. The belief in me and myself and the confidence in me, myself has multiplied to 10 times of what I was before I wrote the book. So the book has a huge contribution in my own life, and I'm sure that I'm passing it on. And I am also sure that the use value in the book is much more than the cash value that I am taking. So it's an authentic, genuine contribution in the lives of people. So the struggles are all worthwhile. And problems or struggles we do have. All of us have. Who doesn't have? And if you don't have struggles, then you're not doing anything. So I welcome struggles. Struggles are my guidances. They are helping me evolve into a better version of me. So I am not afraid of them anymore. It's an opportunity to break my own barrier and take that next leap of faith. So that has made me self-dependent. That has increased my courage, my confidence at all levels. So yes, in the whole journey, right from the thought of writing the book, to choosing people, choosing material, choosing time and money and everything around it. I feel proud that I did it all alone, and that doesn't mean that I did not have team. When you have faith, the right people, the right situations, the right circumstances automatically come and support you. That's how the universe was guiding me. Believe it or not, but yeah, when I was in breakdown, when I was going through struggle, when I was in doubt, I had these angelic guidances, a number like, a repeating number 11111, something grabbing my attraction and telling me that you are on track. Just keep going. Just keep going. You are doing good. Just believe in yourself. And that has increased my confidence in what I was doing. And I kept going. And the angelic guidances, they became more bold. They became more clear. And then I started laughing and enjoying the journey. So it's not about whether you have struggles or not. If we don't crave for anything, but just believe and give our best and then leave it to the world. Have I made mistakes? Certainly, but that mistakes did not hook me from not attempting, not giving what I have, because the only intention was, if I don't do it now, then when? This is the right time. The right time is now. So I had these structures which kept me going, because my children had their own demands, my husband has his own demands and expectations, my in-laws had their expectations, and my patients, clients, they had their expectations, my team had their own perceptions and expectations, and they radiated certain frequency towards me, which was not always a blessing. At times it was, draining me out, but I had to still choose to bless them and not get impacted and keep doing what I believe in, and have faith that at the right time maybe they will get it. And even if they don't, I'm not here to prove anything to anyone, but express myself fully and stay true to my own purpose. So I hope I communicated. Thank you so much. God bless and keep blessing. Pallavi.
Order your copy of The Door to Confidence Opens Here by Dr. Pallavi. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now, like and share this video. Keep on watching The Blaze Goldburst Show.